Dzień dobry, przywitam po pierwsze po polsku naszych gości, którzy zapewne oglądają ten program. And now let's move on to English. Welcome everyone, my name is Blanka Chmurzyńska-Braun. I am the head of Polish Union of Cosmetic Industry, and I was asked by the Minister of Development and also by the organizers, as in previous Cosmoprof Bologna trades, to show the most current data presenting the strength and the position of Polish cosmetic industry. And as you all remember, the buyers and retailers visiting Cosmoprof Bologna in real times, a year ago, for example, we could take a stroll through Pavilion 16, we could take a look at all Polish and international exhibitors taking place in Cosmoprof Bologna. And just 1 year ago, it was 220 Polish exhibitors present at the fair. So new situation, new environment, new possibilities, digital trade. We are doing everything we can to actually reach out to you and to show you what the Polish cosmetic industry stands for. What I prepared for today, it's a presentation that will show you with hard data and figures that the fact that Polish cosmetic industry is 5th in European Union doesn't come from nowhere. So let's move on with the presentation without further ado. Polish cosmetics, the story of beauty. When you think of Poland, probably what comes to your mind to start with, it's people. You recognize obviously Wałęsa, you recognize Lewandowski, maybe some of the writers, maybe our Pope. But when you think of Polish economy, you think in a stereotype way, and you probably associate Poland with products like vodka, coal mining, heavy industry, maybe some yachting, fruits and vegetables. But Polish cosmetic industry, for a very measurable reasons, was selected by the Minister of Government, by our government, Minister of Development, one of the 10 economies, 10 champion economies of Polish economy. So at today's presentation, I will show you that the adjectives, which will be a map of today's talk, are well deserved and they are describing the Polish cosmetic industry in the right way. What are these adjectives? Tradition, motivation, people, flexibility, high quality, management, and first and foremost, people and their creativity. This is what Polish cosmetic industry stands for. So these words that you can see right now on the map, they will take us through the entire presentation, and I will show you hard data proving that Polish cosmetic industry has just that. Let's start from the top. Tradition and heritage, this is something that we couldn't be where we are today if not over 100 years of history and expertise that we built as soon as Poland became free, over 102 years ago. So what happened at that time? Small workshops started operating, companies and brands still existing till now, today, at the Polish cosmetic market, like Miraculum, Eva, Uroda. These brands were created in those times, but they still are manufactured, these cosmetics are still manufactured till today. At the same time, international companies recognized today with a very global, strong position in cosmetic market globally, like Beiersdorf, started producing its famous product Cream Nivea at the western part of today's Poland. So this was just 1929. Schichter and Lever, very many other entities and very many other brands started being produced in this time. What happened after the war? In 1945, everything that used to be private was nationalized. Centralized economy, communist time, and also communist economic regime, where cosmetic production was gathered in associations. And what we learned from that time, Poland was famous for producing cosmetics. So this knowledge that we started with in pre-war times, we moved and we gathered knowledge and infrastructure from, and we built on that. So Poland became the Eastern Bloc beauty center. Poland was producing cosmetics, perfume, makeup products, and face and body care products for the entire Eastern and Central European countries. That was important because that was the time when we were building our position and the backbone structure of where we are today. But when everything started to move on very quickly in a very dynamic way was 1989, the real freedom and the real economic transformation. That's what gave us competitiveness, and people who were employed and gained their knowledge and expertise in communist times, they used it nicely, they used it smartly to build their own family-owned businesses, and they were obviously developing slowly, but surely they grew to a very big companies that still operate today. But please take a look at this hashtags, transformation, people, competitiveness. This was put on the slide for a particular reason, because in 1989, majority of global players that we know, products that we know produced by strong international producers like L'Oreal, Avon, Oriflame, Procter, Colgate, Unilever, Oriflame, they moved their production plants to Poland, used the infrastructure that we had available, put a lot of money, put a lot of investment into the country, into the cosmetic business. That gave us competitiveness, or started building competitiveness. So all of this, what once in communistic times was nationalized, became private yet again. So this pool of competitiveness, the actual fact that we had international and global players building their businesses in Poland, and at the same time people with education and knowledge acquired at chemical and pharmaceutical businesses, they build their own companies as well. But let's move on further, and let's think what was another milestone in our history was the moment when Poland joined European Union. Of course, it gives us access to the EU market. Of course, it gives us the unification of regulatory framework. But let's stop here for a moment and think of this, that all our Western European competitors were working according to high quality standards and regulatory regime created in 70s in Western Europe. Our Polish producers had barely 2 years to make sure they are ready for it. They can produce and actually amend their production lines to the new regulatory regime written in Cosmetics Directive, which were slowly but surely amended. So you see, the moment when we joined European Union, giving us quality, safety and standards, gave us something else. We had to very quickly, just in a very short time, adjust all our production facilities and prepare our people to the new legal framework, to Cosmetics Directive, to safety standards, to good manufacturing practice, to very many legal documents and safety assessment systems that were old and well acquainted for our competitors, but for us it was something totally new. So this lesson, very quickly learned, showed only how flexible and how quick the local producers can be to prepare for the new regulatory regimes. And of course, let's remember that from the point of view of export development, joining EU gave us access to strong economic relationship with European Union and with our current markets where we are present. So let's look once again at the milestones in the history of Polish cosmetic business. All these elements are building blocks, are actually creating the Polish cosmetic phenomenon that we know today. And let's summarize what actually happened within this 102 years, the legacy that we have, the history, the quality, standards, competitiveness that we gained. Competitiveness is the key. Because the fact that on this small map of Poland, on this small central European country, in one place we have international corporations which produce, and they have the biggest production plants globally, and these production plants are producing cosmetics right here in Poland. And at the same time, we have Polish large and medium-sized enterprises and a lot of SMEs and micro businesses which are working for their own cosmetic businesses, and also all this plethora of other businesses which are around us, laboratories, facilities producing packaging, R&D, places where you can actually have your entire concept of cosmetic product developed, produced, all the way to the final product. So the highest level of quality and safety, thanks to joining European Union, but also supreme quality management, creativity, and flexible production, and creative people. This is just the entry. That's to make us going to speed up the discussion. Behind all of this, it's very hard data that we prepared especially for this meeting, especially for this webinar, hoping that you will be able to see that this is the success of Polish cosmetic economy doesn't come from nowhere and is substantially based on certain facts and figures. So I will show you the value of the market, the growth of the market, and also export figures, changes in export destination, and what's really important, very fresh data related to COVID-19 impact on the business. And this, I'm sure, will be very interesting. So let's start. Where we are today and why we are growing. I told you that the history is behind it, but in Europe, Polish cosmetic industry is number 6. If we consider that Brexit is actually a history and it's done and it's finished, then the Polish cosmetic business is 5th in EU. It's difficult to be 5th because you are not on the podium, but it's good to be 5th because you are together in Big 5. You learn, you compete, and you grow. Talking about growth, this is the value of today's market, 2019, 4.1 billion euros, steadily growing figure. Let's take a quick look at the last 15 years, measuring the development of the Polish cosmetic market from 2004. So from this important milestone for our development when we joined EU. All this data, thanks to Euromonitor, dragged all the way to 2019. You see constant and variable prices, and the result comes like that the rate of growth between 2004 and 19 in constant prices is 38%. This gives us, on average, 2.35% growth annually. This is something to be very proud of, because our competitors, the markets which are famous for cosmetics, like French or Italian market, at the same time, these cosmetic markets, they have shrunk by 0.6%, both of them. Another data showing you the growth, it's the forecast. Where will we go in the next few years? Obviously, we estimate, and we can feel it, that the cosmetic market in Poland, due to COVID, will note certain difficulties, and it will be seen in our local market performance, and the market will drop. This is no doubt, and we are not hoping that we are so resilient to crisis that we will sustain and keep the growth year to year by 4 or 5%. But we think, and I will show you the data later on during this presentation, that the flexibility of the market, its readiness and being open to take challenges and be ready for change, flexibility and quick adaptation to change, is giving us a certainty that by 2023 the market will grow to 4.5 billion euros. And we are not alone in this belief, because international analysts think just that. Okay, what are the other ways of showing you that this Polish cosmetic market is highly competitive, is very diverse, it's very fragmented, which gives us additional strength? Let's look at the figures of producers and distributors of cosmetics which are registered in Poland. We gathered data from National Office Official Business Register from 2019, and the number is huge. 1,134 entities registered as producers and distributors of cosmetics alone in Poland. Just the last 3 years, 344 entities. Only in 2019, 113 new entities employing more than 9 people. So another data, it would be wise to compare the number of SMEs, the special mark of our competitive market, looking at our competitors. And please, let's take a look quickly at number of small and medium enterprises registered in Germany. And please pay attention to the fact that in 2019, our main competitors, they noted the drop of small and medium enterprises in number. Germany, less than 48 entities operating at the German cosmetic market. Similar situation in Italy, even more so in France. 265 entities ceased, small and medium enterprises ceased to exist. But in Poland, the growth of small and medium enterprises operating in cosmetic business is steady. This is yet another example of how competitive the market is, how vibrant, and how quickly it changes. Now, when we were preparing this data for you for today, how in other ways show you how fiercely competitive this market is, how many players, how difficult it is to succeed here, we thought, okay, let's take the fragment of the cosmetic industry, skincare segment, which is highly populated by very many entities, and show you the leader, which obviously it's L'Oréal, no surprise here, but let's look at this. These, the marked in red, obviously are Polish entities and brands, and please take a look. They represent 30% of this market. And of course, in the part of others, 37%, we have a lot of other small and medium-sized Polish entities, of course, as well. But in this fragment of in this segment of the market, you can see that the market is not only populated by global players. Locals are strong enough, and they take a substantiate part of the cake, that they have strength and they have chutzpah and they have courage to compete with those who are global leaders like L'Oréal, Beiersdorf, Avon, Oceanic, Oriflame, or Johnson & Johnson. So this shows, the local versus global data shows how fierce competition we have here locally in Poland. What I am showing you is probably our Polish observers or people from Poland who know more or less the retail situation or ways retailers, the shops where cosmetics are being sold in Poland, probably know what I'm showing right now. But this is a screenshot from a very well-known retailer present in Europe. This retailer, just to give you a hint, if you don't realize straight away, has over 3,700 retailing shops all over Europe, and only in Poland 1,700, alone in Poland, only in Poland. So this is a face care shelf, shot taken from the from Rossmann, let's be open, the store. And if we take from this shelf international brands, the Polish brands will stay on, and please take a look how competitive this cosmetic shelf is, how many products produced by Polish company we have here. Okay, this was a traditional retailer, but let's take a look at pharmacy distribution. And let's focus on dermocosmetic results alone. And this is something special that we should be very proud, and we are bragging about, beating our drum and blowing our trumpet. Yes, the red, they are Polish competitors on the pharmacy market shelf. And please take a look, thanks to IQVIA data gathered in August 2020, so very fresh information. This market, measured by units, it's densely covered by Polish entities, and they, in August 2020, they take over 66% of this market. And if we take the measurement by value, which is obviously harder in Poland, still Poles are taking over 50% of the market. This is really something that we should note here and say hooray, because it's really difficult to compete in this fragment of the chain of distribution. Another data from the same IQVIA analytical source, top 20, the main competitors by unit and by value. Please take a look at the origins of business. So in top 20 main competitors, we have 12 companies from Poland, and on the podium, if we look at just first three, we have two players, regardless if we look at the data measured by units or by value. Of course, it's difficult to take you all in these circumstances to our shops and to show you the retailers' shelves and to show you the pharmacy shelves. So this was our way of presenting to you very hard data that this market is highly competitive. Let's move on. Now, the growth and categories. If we look at the main categories and how they grow, it's probably no surprise that skincare and personal hygiene products, they take almost 50% of this category, of this segment. And skincare and cosmetic fragrances are the fastest growing, by 8.7% and by 12% fragrances. This is data that we received thanks to good cooperation with Nielsen. And of course, Nielsen will show more of it and the Polish cosmetics basket in a very detailed presentation tomorrow. I'm cordially inviting you to take part in these presentations, because this data and this information presented by Nielsen and just hinted here by me today will be very interesting to look at. Now let's move on to export. The value of Polish export is almost 4 billion euros, 3.9. This is data gathered from Polish Statista. And obviously, it's nothing to just note how the market, how the export looks like, if we cannot observe. Oh, the slides are not changing. Now it works. Obviously, it's nothing if we cannot look at the dynamics of the export, the changes in export. These are dynamics shown in the last 4 years. And of course, 2016 was a really special and very successful year for our exports. But please, let's take a closer look at just 4 months of 2020, the time where we had to fight COVID and had to prepare production for totally different circumstances. And still under COVID, the market, the export data shows a very good result, because the growth 6.2% in first 4 months of the year, where March and April, we started already having difficulties with internal market. Obviously, the lockdown, and obviously markets becoming more isolated due to COVID. So this data, it's really something to be extremely happy about. Another fragment of the same dynamics of export, showing the expansion and development of this part of measurement of how we perform, is first 7 months of 2020, from January to July, compared and measured with 2019. So obviously we are still keeping the same dynamics in exports, which means that we are resilient to the crisis situation. And if we compare the total result of Polish export, entire Polish economy at the same time, at the same period that we are measuring, was sinking by 6%, then this result, 6.2 growth, is even more impressive, and it's even more positive looking at the background as well. And how do we see this data? We understand that the growth of export will be the key to an expansion of the export will be the key to economic recovery of the entire cosmetic industry market. Another way to measure how exports are changing and which way they are going it's to see the change of directions where we send our cosmetic products. And of course, as I already highlighted, the main receivers of cosmetics produced in Poland, regardless are they produced in global international manufacturing plants or in Polish family-owned businesses, 70% of it goes to EU. And this is no wonder. This is something that we worked hard for from 2004. But what we have here for you is the data gathered from 2018 all the way to 2019. And what we wanted to see is, are the destinations changing? The exports, where do we send our cosmetics, and who assesses them or analyzes them or receives them, thinking that they are really quality produced products and they are worth buying. Obviously, in 2008 and 12, the main receiver of our cosmetic products was Russia, taking even 19%, almost 19% of our exports in 2008. But over the last 4 years, 5 years, the change of the export direction is very strong and very visible. We are going west, and this is Germany is our main economic partner, and they take the most of our cosmetic products produced in Poland. But what's also important to note, that hermetic and highly competitive local markets like Italy, France, Germany, they are those who are stepping into the map of countries buying cosmetics produced in Poland. This slide shortly shows you or puts the focus, puts the stress on only the last 4 years, and the growth of exports of cosmetics, showing the expansion of our exports. So Germany within the last 5 years grew by 60%, Czech 163%, Belgium 157%. This is a tendency to stay with us, which only proves that safety, quality of these products are of the highest European level. Now, another way to measure the results of Polish cosmetic exports is trade surplus. And in 2019, 38% more exports than imports. This is really a data proving how healthy the cosmetic business is. And if we compare it with Big Five and look at the surplus in exports from Germany, where it's 40%, that we are coming really close to our competitors. what's also important, I think, to note is that every second cosmetic product produced in Poland is sent to export. But what was also very interesting for us to share with you is that globally, every third hybrid nail polish is produced in Poland. Now, the growth in trade surplus, 2016, going from 30 to 38, also a very nice data showing expansion as well. Now, let's take a look quickly at the post-COVID information, which we gathered in our analytical studies conducted in April, in May this year, during the most difficult time of COVID-19. We asked all our members and also entities which are not part of Polish Union of Cosmetic Industry, how they view and what they how their business portfolio is changing, how do they assess this change, and what kind of changes actually within their business profile took place. And of course, this is no surprise, but I think it's important to show that 31%, as a result of this analysis, we know that 31% of the entities had to change production profile from the usual, starting to produce this, that under COVID-19 was really highly needed. So they started producing hydroalcoholic hand gels. 11% of them moved their portfolio and started producing or increased the share of disinfectants. This is obvious from the consumer point of view and from the pandemic and crisis situation, but what does this data actually tell us? It shows that the cosmetic industry, local Polish cosmetic industry, is very flexible, can very quickly adapt to change, and can find stability and balance in this very difficult times. Let's take a look at another data taken from the same analysis that we made or we finalized in May this year. We also wanted to know or wanted to track and find out what are the main challenges for the local Polish producers. And of course, majority of them highlighted that lack of packaging, collapse of raw material supply, lack of ingredients was the most serious problem. And obviously, now we are in a different moment of pandemia, but let's please remember that March and April was probably the most difficult moment when we notice that our usual distribution chains or sourcing of ingredients, sourcing of packaging, sourcing of raw materials had to change. And actually, only these entities who knew how to behave in this situation, how very quickly and flexibly change the portfolio of products and at the same time change the access to ingredients and to packaging, making sure that they buy these ingredients locally, that they source the packaging materials locally, only those could sustain. And at first, of course, very quickly adapt to change. Secondly, search for other sources of ingredients and packaging, look for them locally in Poland, because all the global system of sourcing materials had to change. And this we could notice in Europe, where markets were closing, where internal market for at least 6 to 8 weeks stopped existing. So only these markets, like Polish cosmetic market, having locally developed other businesses that could send the packaging, send the ingredients, could actually sustain, be stable, be safe, and develop further. Let's recap what we present to you today in this presentation. So why doing business in Poland? Of course, it's geopolitical location. Of course, it's over 100 years of expertise. the tradition and heritage, this knowledge built, it's something important for us. This gives us the backbone of where we are today. But let's remember that the courage and business openness of people who built steam engines of today's Polish cosmetic business, all those who had courage and didn't feel chip on their shoulder, knew that they can work and develop their own cosmetic businesses over 30 years ago. This is something that makes this plethora and really rich, competitive in an old Western European style market that we are today. This is something that makes us different and makes us stand out from the rest of cosmetic markets in Europe. I mentioned people. I started my presentation talking about people, and actually without people, this story of Polish beauty wouldn't be told. The success that we tell you every year being at Cosmoprof Bologna, we probably wouldn't be able to deliver, because the quality of people who lead the businesses, their qualifications, their education, even starting from the lowest level, going through engineers and ending with top-level management, this is really something that makes the DNA of Polish cosmetic industry flowing. Labor costs important, but it's not as low as it used to be at least 5 years ago. Education, this is the key. And the number of facilities in education, cosmetology faculties, cosmetic chemistry, this is steadily growing, because obviously this pool of entities have to have right educated people, educated for their needs. Another element worth taking away with you from this presentation is the EU regulation and standards. This regulatory regime that we produce high quality products is with us since 2004. And we are not anymore the receivers of cosmetics regulation. We are, together with others, writing the new cosmetics regulation, which is with us since 2009. But this is also an important element that gives us quality and standards. Flexibility and high quality production, investment in infrastructure, all these elements are important to remember when you think of cosmetic industry, but also comprehensive services. As we like to say, Polish cosmetic place, Poland, it's a one-stop shop. It's a place where you can have the entire product developed from the idea through the production, via R&D, laboratories, packaging, and finally sold. Because in one place, which was actually proved during COVID crisis that it does stick and it does exist and it works well, because it's resilient to crisis, that in one place you can find all the services you need to produce cosmetics. This is all that we produced for you, we presented for you, we prepared for you today. But what I would like to invite you to is the 4-day webinars. They will be starting every day at 10 in the morning. As today I opened the set of 4 webinars, tomorrow I would like to invite you very warmly to the presentation done by our partner Nielsen, which will be talking about the Polish cosmetic basket, and the presentation is called Challenging Yet Rewarding Polish Cosmetic Market. On Wednesday, 7th of October, Polish Stars of 2020 Global Cosmetic Trends. This will be presented by our partner Mintel. I'm sure it will be highly interesting to watch presentation. And on Thursday at 10 in the morning, the debate where we are inviting producers, local producers, journalists, and also experts from Mintel in Nielsen to talk about the future of Polish cosmetic market, its strengths today, and the paths to develop in the future. Thank you very much. Dzień dobry, buongiorno a tutti, good morning everyone. I hope we are visible, you can hear us, and let's start. Blanka Chmurzyńska-Brown, the head of Polish Union of Cosmetic Industry, and today we are inviting you for yet another interesting webinar. What the intention was to create 3 days of very detailed expertise and knowledgeable information packed in 3 different webinars. Yesterday we were taking external view, giving you all the possible data, how the market, Polish cosmetic market in Poland is developing, comparing this data to all other European markets with which we compete. For today we invited Michał Rudecki from Nielsen, taking this kind of approach that only external experts who measure the Polish cosmetic market in very true and independent way can give you the information that will paint the proper picture of Polish cosmetic industry. And what we were thinking of the organizers to provide you with is that 3 independent experts, today Nielsen, tomorrow Mintel, will give you a different eye view shots of external puzzles, making the total picture of Polish cosmetic industry. And of course Nielsen, it's a perfect partner to participate in this kind of webinar, because Nielsen, as everyone globally in cosmetic industry knows, specializes in analyzing fast-moving consumer goods, taking a special view on cosmetic basket, analyzing how this industry locally in Poland is developing, what's changing in the market, what are the direction of development, and what are the specific flavors about our industry. What I could say before introducing Michał Rudecki to take the floor is that it's very easy to talk about Polish cosmetic market. It's really a beautiful way to present you data talking about this industry, because it's an industry with so many successes and growth measured year to year on internal market and also on exports, that it's just a pure pleasure to talk about this industry and this market. Michał, the floor is yours. Let's not talk more and let's not take more of your time. Good luck.
Thank you, Blanka, for the invitation and for the introduction. It's a very pleasure to be here, of course. It's a though pity that we cannot meet face to face, but well, special times require special measures. So before I jumped into my presentations and a lot of numbers, in Nielsen obviously we love numbers, I would like to tell you a short story. And this story is about 2 sisters that had a big dream about natural quality cosmetics made from raw materials, raw product that were really of good quality. And that dream happened several years ago. They were 26 and 19 years old. And that time in Poland, there was no such products. But their dream was so strong that they decided to manufacture such products on their own, well, starting first in their kitchen. So after many attempts, many failures, but many achievements and successes as well, they produced their first bar soap. So that was natural bar soap. They had product. Well, that was the time that they needed to find distribution channels and sell the product. But that was also the time when they faced market reality. So very competitive market, big retailers. And this is actually the story and the moment where our story begins now. So what I would like to give you is an overview of the Polish market with emphasis of cosmetics market as well. So first, to be on the same page, let me give you just a quick introduction how we define total Poland market. We have hypermarkets, supermarkets, a list of discounters and drugstores, of course. And then we have groceries, kiosk and petrol stations. And for this presentation, we're gonna put them in the bucket of small format. So whenever I talk about small format, you need to have in mind those channels. We also do not cover certain channels, and these are cash and carry, specialist stores, some seasonal outlets, institutional sales, vending machines, and some part of online. So please bear that in mind. So we're going to start from the very broad and very big picture from the European perspective. I want to show you some development of key channels. So these are large format stores. And as you can see, during time over all those years, the large format stores increased in a steady way. However, if you look at small supermarkets, so the green line that goes up, you're going to see that this growth is quite dynamic, and this is because in those supermarkets, you can see that there are discounters, and actually discounters led that growth over period. However, now, if we go to national economies and national markets, you can see some structural differences that are visible. So, for example, in case of Germany, almost three-quarters of the retail market is driven by supermarkets and drugstores. Then, for example, in France, half of the market is driven by hypermarkets. So you can see already the differences. Now, what is characteristic for Poland is that although we are also a market with large number of supermarkets and discounters, there is also a huge amount of small traditional stores, and that really makes our market complicated and numerous. So you can see that this market is quite numerous. Still, over years, we had faced some consolidation of the market. So over 11 years, we closed 32,000 of small stores. But still, this number, especially compared to other countries in the region, is quite huge. So when we talk about number of stores, it's about 100,000 of stores for food basket and around 94,000 for drug basket. And on this slide, you can see development of every channel. And actually, what I would like to point your attention to is three key trends. So first one is, as I mentioned before, decline of small format, and this is clearly visible. The second thing, already saw on the big picture on the European level, that's an increase of discounters, so steady increase in numbers. And the third trend, it's kind of consolidation of drugstores. So the numbers overall look kind of flattish, but if you go inside, if you start to analyze inside, you're going to see that those small, traditional, non-organized drugstores, they are slowly closing down, and in their place, the big chains of drugstores are emerging. So on the surface, there is no difference, but we have to obviously analyze deeper. And of course, the competitiveness of the market, it's not only in numbers, but it's also in quality. So in Polish market, you can see and you can find different varieties of banners. So we have international chains of supermarket, we have local supermarkets, we have very dynamic discounters, a lot of drugstores and those big chains of drugstores. We have convenience stores, we have countless names of traditional stores, and obviously we have petrol stations that expand their FMCG portfolio year over year. So really that's a competitive market. It's also a great environment, an ideal environment for a Polish shopper. And Polish shopper really likes to do shopping. So as you can see, and this is kind of consequence what I told you before, is that in Poland we lead in terms of number of shops per 1,000 inhabitants. So as you can see, we are in top of Europe. But also, we are not loyal consumers and not loyal shoppers. We tend to change the banner or change the shop very often. And in this statistic, we see that every month we visit 4 different banners, so 4 different types of banners. So that is really another layer of competitiveness. But also, there is something else. So Polish shoppers are not loyal, but they are very smart. What does it mean? So 1/3 of us know already the prices of products that we regularly buy, and another almost half really notice the prices when they change. So that also makes us very immune to promotions. And as you can see, almost 1/3 of shoppers actually change their stores based on promotional trip. So we really like to look for deals and look for promotions, and 40% of us really actively search for those promotions. So this is another layer of competitiveness. We have numerous stores. The stores are very different. We have a lot of banners, and how consumers and shoppers react gives another layer of market complexity. So in this next section, I would like to talk a bit about dynamics of FMCG, but also home and cosmetic basket. So in Nielsen, we estimate that in the latest MAT ending on July, the FMCG total basket amounts to $52.5 billion. If you break down this basket into key industries, we have food industry that covers more or less 3/4 of entire basket, nearly $38 billion. And then we have beauty and home industry and cigarette industry that equally amounts to around $7.4 billion. Now we are looking at dynamics. So we are looking at dynamic of entire basket, entire FMCG basket. And we are looking into MAT this year versus MAT last year. And as you can see, the growth is 5%. So having in mind that this MAT, so this 12 last months, we experienced COVID, I guess this is a very good number for Poland. Now we're going to jump into beauty and home basket, so this $7.4 billion that I mentioned before. And again, we are breaking it down into category groups. So we have home care and paper sanitary hygiene, both worth around $2 billion equally. And then we have cosmetic group of categories, and they are equal to $3.5 billion, which is more or less the half of the entire beauty and home basket. And again, we are showing the dynamic of the beauty and home basket. As you can see, the growth is similar. So still having in mind that that was extremely difficult time for these types of products, the growth is really sound and the number is pretty impressive. However, it needs to be mentioned that that was very turbulent time. And here on this chart, I would like to show you first few months of the development of the sales. And as you can see, in March, we've noted very strong increases of the entire basket. And that was driven because we had first information about closing shops, first information about cases in Poland of COVID. So people start to make big shopping, so stock up missions, and they start to fill in their basket. So that's why we saw such dramatic increase. However, then in April, the whole basket plummeted. Of course, unfortunately, that decrease was not so dramatic as the increase in previous month. However, again, we need to dig deeper into those numbers, and this dynamic was not equal for every industry. And as you can see, home categories, paper sanitary products, they actually perform a bit better because the increase in March was quite significant, and the decrease was not so bad in April. What happened for cosmetic categories, unfortunately, is that they did not benefit as much from those stock-up missions in March, and they plummeted a lot in April, when more severe actions were taken place in Poland, the lockdown. So some of categories were not really making sense in the buying basket. COVID also had interesting impact on channels. So first, I would like to show you a situation that was before. So we saw for drugs, for beauty and home categories as a whole, slow increase of drugs of discounters and more or less flattish situation for drugstores, and same dynamic could be seen in cosmetics. However, the big change you need to pay attention to is that drugstores are much more important for cosmetics, obviously, and you can see its ratio 66% to 40% if we talk about the entire basket. So what happened during COVID? Well, because of the restrictions and because of change of consumers' behavior, shoppers start to act a bit differently. So first of all, they started to look for one big mission trips. They preferred to go to one shop with a wide variety of products, do one big list of shopping, not to expose themselves, and do this one big stock up mission, and that's why discounters increased in importance. And this is what we can see: the increase from 33 to 34, from 70 to 21%. So that is driven that is driving discounters. At the same time, there was a group of shoppers that preferred local small stores, so they also could avoid a large number of people, avoiding queues, going to their small shop, and that's why small format increased a bit. We can see the numbers going from 8 to 10%, from 4 to 5, so we can see that slight increase. And those two trends actually caused drugstores to decline. And as you can see in April, those declines were quite dramatic. However, in July, we already see normalization. The situation is coming back. Stores are open again. Consumers and shoppers like to go to do the shopping. We have promotions again. So the situation is switching back to normal. And to close this section, I would like to again step back and give you some perspective from international point of view. And as it was mentioned yesterday, well, we still are a small market when in terms of size and value that goes through our market. However, when we look at it from different perspective, you can see that growths are really impressive. Especially in cosmetics. In last MAT, there was negative trend for most of the markets, and Poland really had very, very good dynamic. So definitely there is room to grow when it comes to our market. Next section will be focused on cosmetics market. So together with Polish Union of Cosmetics, we defined an index of Polish companies. That's 68 companies. And what I'm going to show you is a difference in behavior and in numbers between those companies and the rest of the industry. So this is cosmetics development. Industry gained 27.6 million PLN over last MAT. And now if we decompose this development, so we're going to show you the difference on Polish cosmetic companies and international cosmetic companies. You see that in these difficult times, in this difficult environment and complicated market, Polish companies delivered over almost 70 million PLN, which is quite impressive. And during that same period, international companies decreased by 40 million PLN. So definitely this growth of cosmetics sector is driven by Polish companies. And again, looking at the same picture but from a different angle, here I'm showing you the dynamics in percentages. You see in the last MAT, both international and Polish companies, they noted positive figures. However, in latest MAT, only Polish companies are above the line. And again, we are decomposing this growth into channels. And what is interesting to see is that although international companies won in discounters and they gained the volume in discounters, overall they lost the volume because of losing in hypermarkets, supermarkets and drugstores. On the other hand, Polish companies really played their strategy good, and having good strategy placed in drugstores, they won and they drove the market through that strategies. Looking at shares of Polish cosmetic companies in entire cosmetic industry, it oscillates about 20%, and you can see that this share is increasing steadily. However, if we look in the COVID period especially, you can see that in May, this figure was over-indexed into 24%, and you may ask why. So this is because there was strong promotion in one of the key drugstores, and Polish companies leveraged that opportunity, were flexible enough, and managed to win some points at that very difficult time. So that's again a good advantage of Polish companies. On that slide, I would like to show you top 10 categories in cosmetics. So starting from face care, that is historically the biggest category in cosmetic industry. However, during the COVID period, and because of that, the growth is quite limited. Then we also see affected categories such as color cosmetics or eye makeup. So those categories noted negative figures. But on the other hand, we have such categories like toilet soap with skyrocketing sales and very good development of shower gels, body care, and toothpaste. So on the next slide, we're going to look at same categories, but in a bit different angle again. So I want to show you the value shares of Polish cosmetic companies within those categories. And as you can see, in face care, body care, color cosmetics, face and eye makeup, Polish cosmetics companies, they have very strong shares. On next slides, I would like to do a short deep dive into face care and body care and show you some more details. So first, let us remind the development of entire face care category was 1.3% over last MAT, and what we could see is that again Polish companies were very strong. The dynamic was much stronger than of other companies, not including Polish cosmetics, and that was 3.6. Now on that chart, I would like to show you top contributors of the growth of entire face care category. And as you can see, in top 10, we have 7 Polish companies. I would say 7.5, because definitely part of private labels are also manufactured by Polish companies. So let's maybe take a closer look what kind of products delivered that growth. So on one side, we have strong brands with already established position playing in already established trend like anti-aging. But then there is a really lot of products that focus on being natural, eco-friendly, having active ingredients and driving maybe on even new trends. So an example would be entire line with anti-pollution benefits. So something really interesting. Now jumping into body care, we see exactly same picture. So we see Polish companies developing and delivering growth much stronger than international companies. And then looking into top 10, there is majority of Polish companies. And this natural trend with natural ingredients is even more visible in the body care section. So we have such tasty ingredients like chocolate, raspberry, nuts, and some of those products really are very similar to yogurts or ice cream. You need to be really aware and really cautious not to eat them. And one of my favorite ingredient is coconut. So I really love that ingredient. Well, starting from Malibu with milk, but not ending there. And my last finding was the toothpaste of coconut, and I really love it. So I'm really happy that this kind of trends are here. So at some point, we were not sure if this natural trend, which is already some time with us, is really that strong, and especially during COVID, is it driving consumer attention? Is it, still vital to us? So we asked consumers, what do you think about it? And they told us, okay, we asked about bio-natural cosmetics and bio-natural home care, so two different set of categories. And they told us, well, I will buy same as before, or I will buy more when compared to a period before COVID. So that was enough for us, right? A very short answer. Yes, it's still important. It's still driving shares. And on one hand, we have producers. On the second hand, we have consumers, we have us, but then there are retailers as well. And as you can see, they are changing their shops. They are changing the way they approach shoppers. And here in the top left corner, you can see Rossmann, which developed a completely new, completely fresh concept of bio eco store. So it's completely different. If you have opportunity, please visit it in Łódź. It's really great. But also we see other different stores that so far focus on bio and eco food, and now are switching slowly into cosmetics and home and beauty products. And then this is also happening in leaflets. So far, whenever we had a bio-eco campaign in the leaflet, that was mostly focused on food products. Now more and more cosmetics are visible there. Natural trends are important, but it's also important to go further, to innovate. And we some time ago did at Nielsen research, so we tested different claims, as you can see, in different countries, and these are claims for home care products. So obviously that was a COVID period, and people really focus on antibacterial claims, a preventive action, keeping my immune system strong, etc. But one interesting fact is that among those healthy claims and antibacterial ones, there is a claim saying kills germs in a natural way. So that can potentially be a further or another route or way to innovate in this area and perhaps create some another successful products. And when it comes to Polish consumers, we are really prone, and we like to test new products. And as you can see, over all those years, the number of trendsetters, so those shoppers that love try new things, constantly increases. And we are this, modern shoppers that we like to test new products. And lastly, what is also important, that innovation, okay, it's fun sometimes, but it also can pay out. Yeah. What I'm showing to you is top 5 categories, but we're going to focus on top 2. So this is makeup and face care. And for those categories, the importance of introduction of new and different products is the highest. So whenever you are playing in this category, you need to constantly innovate. And again, from the study that we did during COVID period, we asked consumers, okay, you like innovation, that's fine, but will you be willing to pay premium, to pay more for these types of products? And they are asking, they are saying, yes, of course, whatever that saves my time and it's new, whatever that is better quality and it's new, I'm willing to pay more. So that's another hint for you that, yes, innovate and consumers will love it and they will pay for that. Okay, so to sum up, I would like to leave you with 5 points, 5 key thoughts that we had during that presentation. So first of all, Polish retail market is competitive. It's not only about the number of stores, but number of banners and this intensity and not yet consolidated structure. The second thing is that Polish consumers are maybe not easy, they are smart, they shop frequently, but actively also search for best deals. Third point would be bear in mind healthy growth of FMCG and entire basket of beauty and home, and that was despite COVID disturbance. And we could see that when we compare it to another countries in the region, the growth is there, and we are very prosperous market in that sense. Another point, and also a very important one, is that Polish cosmetics companies are already ready, let's say. They're up their game, right? They have quality products, they have interesting ideas, and they are really ready to compete internationally. Lastly, Polish cosmetic market is very dynamic. It's driven by innovations and trendy products. So I could end up here, but we still have our story to be told. So what happened to two sisters? Where in the meantime, during my speech, they opened a store in Szczecin, they opened store in Warsaw, they have internet store as well. They have several other stores where they are available. So they started with a bar soap, now they have scrubs, they have creams, they have other great products, and they have, I'm sure, a lot of ideas for different products. So what is the moral and what is the beauty of this history? Well, the beauty is that they are not alone, right? There are a lot of other companies that have this optimism, have this business passion, and a lot of ideas, a lot of great product that that really are achieving success in this complicated Polish market. So, my name is Michał Rudecki. Dear ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attention. I wish you a lot of health and a lot of success, and thank you.
Everyone, thank you very much for the introduction. My name is Blanka Chmurzyńska-Braun. I am the head of Polish Union of Cosmetic Industry. We are in our third day of webinars prepared by our organization, by the Polish Union of Cosmetic Industry. And as you remember, Żaneta summarized all the main points that we've heard yesterday. And no wonder that after Nielsen presenting to us all economical and retail channels data, because that's what Nielsen specializes in, today is the day for Mintel. For all of us who are from the inside, who work for the cosmetic industry, who are the cosmetic producers, we know that Mintel is a global player, a company analyzing all the trends, R&D movements, all cosmetics appearing on the shelves of all markets globally at the same time, looking at how they are presented, what kind of ingredients they contain, what kind of declarations, claims they use, basically on very extensive research that Mintel carries out, we learn in which direction the global players are heading, what kind of trends they create, and it's more important, what new trends we notice globally. And today, inviting Mintel and Margot Caron to see us, to talk, to spend this 45 minutes with us, we want to learn from a global analytical think tank about the global trends, but we will look at the map of them, and Margot will pinpoint for you, are we following the trends? Are we setting them? And do we have here locally in Poland entities, companies who are ahead of the edge, who are creating the competitive field? Because after all, what we stand for is R&D, science, merging trends which are coming to the market with all scientific knowledge that we have locally here in Poland. As you can see, Margot is not with me on the stage. This serious circumstances take serious measures. She couldn't fly in from London, but we can see her, we can talk to her, and we will be connected with her just right now. Margot is with me. Hello, good morning, how are you?
Hello. I'm good, thank you.
As you can see, Margot is ready to present. We will be able to answer all the questions that our buyers and watchers of our Polish Beauty channel will be placing to us. Margot, weather in London okay? Are you in good shape? Are you ready to spin the house to give us some interesting data?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, Mintel is with us. Margot Caron, I will leave you at good hands of this very good beauty trends analyst, and let's see what today's webinar will bring us. Thank you.
So yes, I'm Margot Caron, Global Beauty Analyst at Mintel from London. Mintel is a market research company. We're specialized in what consumers want and why, and we're specializing in an area of industries, and beauty and personal care is one of them. And today I've been invited to present to you the Polish Stars of 2020 Global Cosmetic Trends. So this presentation is going to be about global trends that we've identified for 2030 and how Polish brands are responding to them. So Blanca on Monday was mentioning and was talking about the creativity and how it's at the core of the Polish beauty industry. So we're going to explore here in this presentation how this creativity of the Polish industry is pushing innovation forward and how it's responding to these global trends. So the presentation is going to be split in three parts, three big trends. First, combining science and nature for clean beauty. We're going to analyze how Polish beauty brands are responding to this clean beauty wave, to this demand for non-harmful beauty, so non-harmful for the body, for the people, but also for the environment. The second part of this presentation is going to explore next level holism. So we're going to touch on the wellness industry, the wellness halo, because beauty is part of the wellness halo now, the wellness ecosystem. And we're going to analyze how Polish brands are responding to the demand for beauty products that are at the same time responding to or benefiting physical health, but also providing emotional balance. And the third trend is going to be about making everyday beauty extraordinary. So here we're going to look at value. So yesterday with Nielsen, it was the topic of price sensitivity was also put at the forefront. We're going to look at this value, how to make everyday products and everyday beauty memorable, and how to inject value and experience in them. So first of all, first trend, combining science and nature for clean beauty. So at Mintel, we developed a BPC beauty trend for 2030 called the Panorama of Humanity. And it really analyzes how, for us, clean beauty or the clean beauty industry will just be the beauty industry in the next 5 to 10 years. This is something that is going to progressively take place, because the brands and the companies that cannot ensure that their products are non-harmful for the skin or non-harmful for the body or for the environment will face difficulties. So really ensuring, brands will really ensure that that their products and that their practices are virtuous and are healthy and non-harmful. Clean will also, the term clean will also evolve to be about transparency and eco-ethical messages rather than just, fear marketing. So rather than just focusing on anything that's related to free from, for example, which can be a little bit, which can provoke fear in consumers, but which can also have its own difficulties linked to new regulations, is going to be about valuing ingredients and valuing what's inside the product, rather than just focusing on what has been removed from the product for it to be efficient and clean. So that's, to us, the global trend that will really unfold to 2030. What's interesting is that Polish consumers really demand this sustainability, the fact that brands and beauty brands are non-harmful to the environment. And at first, of course, when clean beauty was in infancy, clean meant natural for a lot of consumers. But today we see that actually more and more consumers are suspicious about the fact that maybe natural doesn't mean sustainable and vice versa. And this chart showcases the proportion of consumers who are concerned that the ingredients used in their natural products are not sustainable. And as you see, in Poland, we have almost 70% of adults, of consumers, who are concerned about this. So there is now this suspicion that actually, or this demand for natural products as well to be sustainable. And this is something that has accelerated with COVID-19. We see that more than a third of Polish consumers aged 16 to 24 place a higher priority to the environment since the COVID-19 outbreak began. So the crisis, the current crisis, has accelerated eco-consciousness in Polish consumers. So it's bringing even more at the forefront the need for sustainability. And we see that in terms of product launches, the Polish beauty industry is really adapting quite quickly to this mindset. We see that the fastest growing claims in new product launches on the Polish market are really focusing on ethical claims, but also vegan claims, as you can see here, here in light blue. These claims are really skyrocketing. They are from the fastest growing claims. And it's very also interesting to see that that brands are really putting sustainability linked to naturality at the forefront. Sustainable practices is really something that Polish brands are adopting to respond to Polish consumers' demands. Here we have three very interesting examples. So on the left, Mokosh, which is a company that is adopting a zero waste philosophy. They are all recyclable. The packaging are all recyclable. They're all contained in glass jars, and they are featuring organic ingredients. So really having this mindset at the core of their brand philosophy. The second example, Yop, is all about affordable sustainability. So making sustainability really approachable to everyone. And they are using as much as 90% of natural ingredients. And interesting claims, ingredients are minimally processed. So having again this kind of like raw ingredients at the core of their processes. And finally, Resibo. Resibo is also focusing on natural products. It's vegan, and they use as well a biodegradable packaging. So looking at how to also be virtuous in terms of packaging. Something that's very interesting as well, and that is really tapping into this need and this demand for sustainable beauty, and something that also Blanca touched on as well during her presentation on Monday, which was localism and local ingredients and the reliance of well, the resilience, sorry, of Polish beauty brands who relied on local sourcing during the crisis. So here we see that local ingredients is really something that brands beautify, and this is also something that can touch on carbon emissions and on reducing them, so making brands more sustainable because everything's local and locally sourced. So here again, two very interesting brands. The first one, Polka Z, uses local natural resources, and something that's really, really local and locally themed is Ziaja's. The brand Ziaja's, sorry, Ziaja Danskin. This brand is themed around the coastal city of Dansk, and the ingredients are sourced in the region of Dansk. So really beautifying these ingredients is really something that resonates with the Polish consumers and provides as well the resilience of the brands. When we look at beyond just natural, nature and science need to work hand in hand to really provide sustainable ingredients. We have seen a little bit earlier in the presentation that consumers can be suspicious about the sustainable credentials of their natural ingredients. Nature and science working hand in hand will really overcome this challenge and this consumer mindset, as long as the synthetics are safe and they're sustainable. We see that Polish consumers are quite eager to and quite ready to consume and to buy scientifically modified natural ingredients. So ingredients from natural origins that have been modified in a lab. This is something that is quite strong, especially in younger consumers. As you can see here, almost 30% of consumers aged 25 to 34, compared to only 16% in France. So there is this really strong readiness from Polish consumers to buy ingredients from natural origins. And Polish consumers as well are extremely trusting ingredients and products that are created by scientists. So here 68% versus only 49% in Germany. So as we see, this is really, there is a readiness, there is a mindset around this trust in science, as well as natural origins are also promoted, because obviously the Polish beauty market is driven by naturality. And when we look at this nature and this science working together, biotechnological innovation is really something that Polish brands have embraced in the past few years. So here again, looking at how the usage of biotechnological ingredients in the Polish beauty launches, and we see that it's really it has really accelerated to meet the global usage of biotechnological products as well. So again, a real embrace of these modified ingredients and these ingredients from biotech processes. And when we look at brands, all this symbiosis between nature and science is really shining through some innovations and some brand philosophies, such as, for example, Oyo Labs. Oyo Labs is really working on the conscious synthesis of nature and science. And they have all these ingredients that are plant extracts, organic, cold press, but that are also all clinically, they all deliver results that are clinically proven. So having science working for them to prove that the products are efficient. Second trend, exploring next level holism. So here looking at wellness and the wellness industry and see how Polish brands and the Polish industry are responding to consumers' demand for, at the same time, beauty products to respond and to benefit their physical health, but also their emotional balance. So first of all, self-care is something that has been emerging even before the current crisis. Self-care is a key global focus. Wellness is a key global focus. And beauty is really part now of the wellness ecosystem. Consumers are demanding or need their beauty products to work at improving how they care for themselves, how they develop self-care for themselves. And with obviously COVID-19, the focus on ingredients and products that, for example, boost immunity or that help consumers cope with stress and anxiety during these times, this is something that has been accelerating with the crisis. And for example, we see that Goop launched a mindfulness series to help its community cope, and Goop obviously is one of the beacons of the global, one of the trendsetter of the global wellness trend and wellness industry. And here we really see that, again, Polish consumers are really demanding for beauty brands to respond to this need for physical health, to their need to improve their physical health. And this is something that we've seen during COVID-19 as well. 38% of Polish consumers who do BPC, so beauty activities, more often since the beginning of the outbreak, have been doing them more to improve physical health. So there is really a connection here between beauty rituals and feeling healthy and boosting, trying to boost one's immunity. And this is really something that is unfolding for Polish brands. The usage of ingredients that are taken from the health categories. So for example, categories like vitamin and supplements, like for example, here with Perfecta Phenomen CTH, using vitamin C into color cosmetics, into a foundation. So really taking these ingredients that are from the health department and on the more pharmaceutical shelves and putting them into beauty products to benefit the skin. But it's also something that Evelyn Cosmetics has done with the usage of probiotics and prebiotics in their microbiome protection range. tapping into positive connotations between beauty and mental wellness as well, and emotional well-being, is something that has been again accelerating with COVID-19. We see that so many Polish consumers actually use beauty to feel better. Here we see on the left that almost 3/4 of them feel that following a beauty routine is a good way to reduce stress. Almost 70% in the middle agree that having a beauty treatment can make them feel happier. So there is a clear and distinct link between beauty routines and feeling good, feeling happy. And we see that again, during times of crisis, during times of hardship, using beauty products, using beauty rituals as to find solace during difficult times is really something that Polish consumers are keen to do. 37 of Polish consumers who do beauty activity more often as a result of the crisis, of the outbreak, do so to reduce stress. So again, this is really key to promote for Polish consumers. Brands are really tapping into this stress relief and this relaxation, and we see that there are brands that do it in a very inspirational way, in a very beautiful way, really having this pampering and this relaxing and stress-free way to develop this emotional balance claims for beauty products. So on the left, you have Fluff. This is a brand that uses adaptogens. So all these ingredients found in remedies that can reduce stress. So they use it in their products to reduce, to strengthen the skin barrier, but also having this kind of stress reducing feel attached to it. And Dr. Irena Eres, here we see that it's more Maldives themed, so providing escapism, also when consumers might stay a little bit more at home as well during this time. So finding these escapism themed, so variants, to provide this pampering and relaxing rituals is also something that's very interesting to explore. The wellness industry has really been focusing on a certain ingredient. CBD is really connected to wellness, and we've seen this ingredient really buzzing recently. So we see that Poland, as you see here, Poland, so this is the percentage of facial care launches with CBD oil between September 2019 and August 2020. And we see that Poland again has really embraced this trend, embraced the CBD craze, and connecting skincare and wellness through this ingredient that taps really into this well-being benefits that are really holistic, like calming, soothing, and nourishing for the skin. And here we have a few examples of Polish brands adopting this trending ingredient. First, Bielenda, which has natural, organic, and vegan formulas, and really pushing forward the cannabidiol ingredients. Nutka as well, providing moisturizing and soothing properties thanks to CBD. And finally, Biotanic with CBD oil again. And here we're more into a multifunctional product. So really adding again value in products with trending ingredients. Aromatherapy, when it comes to well-being and to mental well-being, is really something that appeals to Polish consumers. So aromatherapy and healing properties. We see that almost a third of Polish women show interest in beauty products with aromatherapy or healing features. And this is really something that's of an interest in Poland, because we see that, for example, in the UK, it's less, it's 15%. So we see that there is a strong interest for this sensory appeal in brands and products that are tapping into wellness claims. Here we have three very, again, interesting brands really tapping into aromatherapy, tapping into the scent of a product to provide these wellness benefits and these mood benefits. So first, EOC uses sweet orange and essential oils to really bring positive spirits to the usage of a product. So quite dynamizing, quite energizing. And as they say, press the pump to release endorphins. So they're really working on this kind of like happy feeling, this kind of energizing feeling. AA with superfruits and herbs is working on putting consumers in the perfect mood. So really having this kind of like, again, energizing or relaxing effects when you use their products. And finally, energy shots with foodie ingredients. Here it's Mavavo with all the handmade body peeling with food-inspired ingredients that are said to really boost the usage and the way the pleasant experience of using their product. Something that's also quite beautiful in terms of trends is this kind of like chic alternative healing practices that have been explored globally, and that is also explored in the Polish beauty industry. Having these healing practices with all these quartz and stone mineral made devices that you can pair with skincare products. This is something that the brand Easy Living is really exploring with, again, beautiful tools like gua sha face massage tools, but also divine serum oils to accompany the usage of these tools, and trending products and products that are providing this extra ritual, wellness ritual, such as the skin steams and everything that's related to like the skin baths and the skin steams. Third trend, make everyday beauty extraordinary. So here we're going to go to our value and to touch on our value trend, our trend about value. It's a Mintel consumer trend for 2030 called value. The fact that adding value and going beyond functional benefits to tap into the emotional benefits of a purchase is something that becomes increasingly important. This is something that gains so much importance for consumers who are actually looking for experience, but also looking at products that benefit them, looking at slowing down their consumption to actually refocus on products that are durable, that are of high quality, but that also bring a good value for the price you pay. So value is really central to a lot of it's a key driver for beauty consumers for 2030. And again, Polish consumers are really, really responding to this trend, are really echoing this trend. And when we see that 3/4 of Polish consumers agree that the number of beauty and grooming products available can be overwhelming, it's very visible that brands need to bring them products with the value, a true reason to purchase, but also products that are simple or easy to I would say, well, a more minimal approach to be more straightforward and to really tap into a focused benefits, to really bring this value, to really bring relevance, to cut through the noise of this overwhelming offer. So the first strategy that Polish brands have developed, some Polish brands have developed, is really this minimalist approach that we've seen in trending brands and successful brands, like, for example, The Ordinary or the Inky List. A minimalist approach focused on ingredients and on the simplicity of claims, just very straightforward, with benefits really readable. And here again, two brands that have embraced this approach and this philosophy. First, we have Ministerstwo, which is a brand that develops products with a minimalist ingredient list. So here, for example, we have a product that only uses 2 ingredients. That is rosemary, flower water, and radish root ferment. So only having this minimalist ingredient list to really target consumers in need of simplicity, but of beautiful simplicity and of straightforwardness in the benefits. The second one is Hagi, and this is more tapping into all-purpose products, multifunctional products, but also products that are easy to use, that have a functional format. So it's a pomade, but it's also a stick that you can use in a very versatile way. The fact that we're looking at minimalism and that we're looking at value doesn't mean that Polish consumers don't want something extra, something extraordinary when they are consuming their personal care products, when they're consuming everyday beauty. And it's very important to inject novelty and to inject experience in personal care products, because Polish consumers are expecting from brands novelty and innovation and experience when they partake into their beauty routines. Here we see that 42% of Polish consumers have tried the new beauty product that they haven't tried before in 2019. So again, there is this hunger to discover new things and to have new beauty experiences when consuming beauty products. And bringing excitement with multi-sensory qualities in personal care is really something that Polish brands have done to entice their consumers, to entice their customers. So here we see, for example, the brand Fridge by Ide, which is a brand that provides products that are 100% fresh and that need to be kept in the fridge. So having this cooling effect, having this freshness injected in the products. Equally Fluffy, which develops shower balms made with superfood ingredients, and having these superfood effect with all these scented delights that are added to shower products. And Miodowa Miedlarnia, also developed powder alternative for soaps and gels and lotions with for example, their Good Morning washing powder. And here again is bringing novelty. It's tapping also into skin sensitivity, and it's really providing this new experience for shower products with a surprising and playful format. The other way to bring value as well in everyday products is really to respond to the demand of Polish consumers to have access to products that are tailored to them. So it doesn't necessarily mean made to measure, because obviously made to measure and ultra personalized products are difficult to do for mass personal care products or for personal care but micro targeting consumers when and really developing products that are extremely specific to their demographics is something that is, again, increasingly important. When we look at the markets that we've surveyed in Europe, we see that in Poland there is one of the highest demands when it comes to products that are actually targeted specifically for them. So targeting especially for their age, as you can see in purple on the left here. Sorry, so 55% of Polish consumers want products that are created especially for their age, and 40% want products that are created especially for their gender. And this is a high demand. This is like a very strong demand that brands are responding to. So first of all, adapting to age-specific skincare demands is something that has been accelerating as well in the market, in the Polish markets. Perfecta is adopting a strategy that is extremely interesting with Botulux here. They have developed age-specific variants. So according to the age you are, you're going to have variants of products. So if you're in your 30s, 40s, or 50s, etc., you're going to be able to choose between the variants of a Botulux product. Radical as well has developed Age Architect, which is a product that targets skin, that is designed for the skin of consumers age 75 plus. So really tapping into targets that sometimes can be overlooked and that are extremely age specific. And finally, male grooming is also something that is accelerating, and with very interesting and very beautiful launches on the male grooming segments. Here we have three examples. So the ZEW for men, here with charcoal from a local region. So going back again to our trend about local ingredients, but using local ingredients, using local charcoal to develop their soap. Topa as well. Here looking, this is really a product around value as well, because it's these very practical on the go products in pouches, and here we have an on the go bird care, so care for the birds, and again providing this very practical format. And finally, pat and rub. and their men's line, 100% powered by nature, and looking at how to cater for men in all the area of grooming. So 4 key takeaways for this presentation. 4 key takeaways about the polish industry and how it innovates in accordance to global cosmetic trends. So first, bringing science to nature for more sustainability. The fact that brands reassure consumers with health-inspired claims, supporting as well consumers' mental well-being and bringing excitement in functional products. This is the end of this presentation. Thank you very much for attending. Thank you for your attention, and I wish you all a
I would like to thank you very much for such a nice introduction. It's very nice to hear that the association, that the industry association is needed in the market. And actually, the previous presentation was about the sky and about the no limitations. I will be talking about the limitations and about the earth. Just the main question is if we need this limitation, and I would like to answer yes. These limitations are keeping us in a very proper frame. And finally, very often we don't like them, but we need them. So, do regulations kill innovation in cosmetic business? From the beginning, I don't think so. Because in many cases, in many spheres, we just need to know in which frames can we move. First of all, I would like to say a few words about the association, the industry association that is, by the way, 2 sector associations, so the Association for Cosmetics and for Detergents. We are a member of Cosmetics Europe, of AISC, of FIA, so huge pan-European organization, and finally we gather more than 140 members. When you look at this slide, you see big companies, small companies, little companies, medium companies, Polish and big multinationals, and these are our members. Commonly, what's characteristic for all of these companies and all of these members? They are all working in parallel on the innovation, on something which is new, on something what consumer will like. But at the same time, they all should fulfill the requirement of the law. And in this moment, we help our companies. We help to know the European law. We warn that something is going to be changed. And we also help to learn what's different in the law in third countries, yes? Because sometimes these legal systems are established in totally different way than in Europe. Polish cosmetic industry is a big industry. We are the 5th market in the European Union, not in Europe, but in European Union. And the export reaches right now about 50% of sales and also increases 5% each year. It's a lot. And we export to 160 countries. So big market, changing market, and very innovative market. Going to the subject, so to the advertisement, to claims, and to the legal frames, you have to remember that we want a lot, yes? We would like to claim our cosmetics in different ways. We would like to reach the sky. But reaching this sky, we have to remember all the time that we have frames, we have legal frames that we cannot overcome. We should be always on the right-hand side of the law. We have to remember that finally we are communicating something to the consumer, and on the basis of this communication, the consumer takes the decision to buy or not to buy. So we have to be open, we have to be honest, we cannot mislead. This is very important. And we have to also remember that the product communication, it's the whole product. That's the name, there are claims, these are markings, appearance, instructions, all of these things, this is the advertisement, this is the communication, and we must be careful to follow the legal rules. Yeah, looking at this slide, it looks like a bit complicated, but the first two are horizontal law, which are applying also to cosmetics, we have to remember. And the second two, so the regulation and the Commission Regulation 655, these are legal acts specifically for cosmetics business. Each producer must know these acts very well before putting on the market cosmetic products. And when you look at the Article 20, you see that in the labeling, making available on the market and advertising of cosmetic products, text, names, trademarks, pictures and figurative or other signs shall not be used to imply that this product have characteristics or functions which they do not have. So we shouldn't mislead, we shouldn't lie, we cannot lie, yeah? That's forbidden. And also, the other act, the Regulation 655, which states that there are common criteria, and our product must be compliant with the common criteria. Common criteria which are legal compliance, very important, which is truthfulness, also evidential support, you must support your claims, honestly, fairness and informed decision making. That's the technical document that has been translated and adopted in the association by our members, and it's good to follow it. It's not the legally binding law, it's just the technical document, but let's remember that inspections also use it. Going to the legal compliance, when we claim that the product complies with provisions of the EU cosmetics legislation, we cannot claim like this. It's just forbidden. It's not allowed, because all the product which is put on the market must be just compliant. So it's nothing special. It's something, that's the obligation for each product. Further, skincare products doesn't contain hydroquinone. This is also not allowed because the hydroquinone is forbidden. Yes, so it's nothing special. There are no products that can contain it. And the last one, product has been authorized or approved by a competent authority within the EU. There is no such an obligation, so we also shouldn't claim like this. When we claim that something is free from some ingredient, of course this formulation cannot contain this ingredient. When we claim that some cosmetics ensures 48 hours hydration, we also should check, prove by tests in laboratory that that's true, that this is at least 48 hours, not less. And also evidential supports which are necessary except of hyperboles. If you state that this perfume gives you wings, nobody expects substantiation for such a claims, of course. And moreover, honestly, so no Photoshop. When we test the cream or the formula for wrinkles, we cannot use Photoshop. We cannot false the picture. The picture must be true. Yeah? We cannot cheat the consumer. This is very important. And the fairness to our competitors. Because when we say that contrary to the product of my neighbor, my product doesn't contain some of ingredients, in this moment I'm saying my products are better than his products. We shouldn't do it. We cannot do this. All well tolerated as it doesn't contain mineral oils. Why? Why mineral oils? Low in allergens because without preservatives. This sentence suggests that all preservatives are allergens. I can read it in this way. So, also, this is not a law. When we claim something, we have to substantiate. We have to prove. And what's important, that these tests must be done at first in good laboratory, by people who are educated, by people who are doing this for a long time with a huge experience. This is very important. And it must be also documented. So it must be written in documentation that we are able to substantiate our claims. Frequently used claims, like, for example, tested under medical supervision. That's okay, because we are just saying that the doctor, medical doctor, dentist was present during the tests, or dermatologically tested. Also correct, because we are just saying that the dermatologist was present and supervised this testing. Free from. This kind of claims are of huge interest of the industry, but here are also big limitations. So, for example, when we say free from corticosteroids, we cannot claim such things, because these substances are already forbidden by law. So here, not the sky is limit, but the law is limit. We must obey the law. Free from preservatives. When we use it on perfumes, for example, it's also kind of cheating, because in perfumes you don't need preservatives. You have a lot of alcohol there, and that it plays this function. Free from allergenic sensitizing substances. That's also not allowed, because you never know if this mixture is really free from allergenic substances. And fairness. Fairness is very, very important. Many discussions around the parabens. And when you look at the technical document issued by the European Commission for the cosmetic industry in Europe, it's very clearly written that if you claim free from parabens, it shouldn't be accepted, because this denigrating the entire group of parabens, and part of them are totally allowed and used in cosmetics. So why should we denigrate the whole group? There are some claims which are just informative, which are not denigrating, but which are playing informative role. And they are correct. Like, for example, free from alcohol in mouthwashes. If you are a family and you want to buy the mouthwash for your children, you are looking for such a products. And this claim is just giving you the information. Free of animal-derived ingredients for vegans. If you are vegan, you want to avoid it, you have the information. free of silicons in products for thin and delicate hair. Also totally accepted, because if you have such a hair, you would like to avoid silicons. Shortly, very shortly, about the hypoallergenic claims. I would just like to say that nobody can guarantee that the mixture will not run the allergy in the person. It's always very, very personal reaction. Generally, in such a products, we as the industry avoid substances which are listed as allergens, which has literature that they are allergens. That's the golden rule. But finally, you can never be sure about the allergy. And going to natural, organic, and green. Looking at the market, how is it changing? How the life is changing, and how consumers are looking for such a claims and for such a products. I would like just to emphasize one thing, that we cannot say that the natural is safer, never. Because if we put the product on the market, it just must be safe. So if something is natural, it just fulfills the requirement of the cosmetic regulation, and it must be safe. But we never can say, comparing these two groups of products, natural and so-called non-natural, that one or another are more safer. Shouldn't do this. And going to natural, organic, there are no legally binding definition of natural. There are no legally binding definition of organic. There is an ISO standard, very good standards, that allows for calculation of both. I think very, very broadly used right now by the industry. And there are, of course, commercial organization, certification bodies with their own criteria for natural and organic. And finally, if we look for the claims, we can see that very similar issues we can introduce in different ways. So, for example, if we say supports the prevention of caries, it's okay. But if we say caries treatment, it's not cosmetic claim. If we use the word treatment, we are going into curing, yes? So these are totally into medicines. This is totally different legislation. These are totally different products. We must be careful with our claims. Exhibit a moisturizing effect. Can be used on atopic skin. We can say this, but hydrating atopic skin, allowing to reduce the use of corticosteroid treatment, it's forbidden. You cannot just use these claims, etc., etc. Going to the final conclusion, I just would like to say that the manufacturer should always assess case by case, product by product claims, yeah, and treat the product as a whole, and be very careful for the low frames, because they create some of limitation, and they put the industry, they put the products into the frame. Thank you very much.
Dzień dobry wszystkim. Buongiorno a tutti. Good morning, everyone. This is the debate the Polish Union of Cosmetic Industry has prepared today. Welcome. We have just 45 minutes, which is very little, so let's begin. what's behind us, the scene? You see over the last 4 days, you had more or less the same background every day, Polish beauty, Polish beauty. But what we want to finalize and wrap up our discussion today is to sum up the 3 days of webinars that we were organizing, starting with adjectives which we believe describe the state, the situation the Polish cosmetic industry is right today. So for specific purpose, we created this background, giving you yet again all the keywords which are describing a Polish cosmetic industry, the entrepreneurs, the growth, the competitiveness, creativity, flexibility, people, ingredients, sustainability, innovations. We have it all. But this is not only an empty adjective, an empty word. We were presenting together with Nielsen and with Mintel yesterday all the hard data proving that there are substantial important figures behind it. But how do we want to orchestrate today is like that. We've invited, obviously, our external experts. Michał Rudecki is with us of Nielsen. Margot Caron of Mintel will join us in a minute all the way from London, UK. But 3 of us, Michał, Margot and myself, we are external. We are external view. We are kind of an eye view for the cosmetic industry. What we are presenting, it's something that experts but external can see. What we wanted to create today is invite interesting people, examples, standing out examples of entrepreneurs. Especially we wanted women, especially we wanted on stage young and creative people representing fresh and new businesses to the cosmetic industry. We wanted someone who can show sustainability, creativity, new ideas. So that's why with us we have, I will start with Agnieszka Kozoń, the head of Only Bio brand, and she has agreed to be with us today. We have also Marta Ryszewska, who represents Clochey. Clochey was presenting its own brands just yesterday. And also, we thought that it would be wise to have someone who is a writer, who is a journalist, who knows the industry inside out, who knows all the entrepreneurs personally that produce cosmetics in Poland, who is an author of very many publications and book on role models, cosmetic role models or personalities that actually created the market. So that's why Lidia Lewandowska is with us. And I thought that it would be interesting to spend this 45 minutes with us to take a look at certain elements of the cosmetic business from these different angles, us externally, but as I said, internal companies who are actually on the battlefield fighting for the attention of Polish consumers. And where would you be if you cannot win the attention of Poles in Poland? And then how would you export if you cannot win your own ground? So that's why this 2 companies are also representatives of these 2 companies are also with us. So we will be putting up all the puzzles that we had gathered over the last 3 years together to give you a bigger and more complete picture. Let's join with Margot Caron of Mintel. I hope we have the link. London, hello, Warsaw is calling. Are you with us? Yes, she's with us. Hello, Margot,
hello,
nice to
hi.
see you. Hello. Margot, as you remember, we were practicing this debate so many times that I hope today will be just right. Yesterday you were presenting all the knowledge in a nutshell, all the knowledge and expertise that Mintel can gather, analyzing the global trends in cosmetic sector, putting the map of all global trends important for us, and then on this map placing local examples showing, I believe that was our understanding, showing that we do follow trends and we very often set them we invite them. We kind of we are the ones who are setting them as well. And could you please, in just one sentence, give us a description of Polish cosmetic market in terms of trend? What's so visible?
Yes, of course. Yes, absolutely. So I would say that if we look back at the presentation from yesterday, there are really three important trends that the Polish industry participate in terms of like dynamics and setting the dynamics, and also well, how Polish brands respond to these global trends, how their creativity is harnessed to respond to these global trends. So I would say that the first long-term trend that the Polish industry is really responding to is this sustainability and this new green, if we can say. We can see that Polish consumers are very sensitive to sustainable practices in brands. This eco-consciousness has also accelerated with the COVID-19 outbreak. We see that very clearly in our data, and especially in younger consumers. And indeed, we've seen that happening in the Polish beauty market as well, because with our data, we're able to see the proportion of claims, for example, that are claimed by new product launches, And we've seen that, for example, in the fastest growing claims in the 5 last years, the fastest growing claims in beauty products in Poland have been the ones that are connected to this eco-consciousness, to these ethics. So, for example, vegan is a trend that has been accelerating. Organic as well has been skyrocketing, and everything that's related to sustainability and to sustainable sourcing. The second one, and it's quite linked to actually sustainability, it's really informing this second trend, is how nature and science work hand in hand. Because again, our data really showcases that an important part of Polish consumers are concerned that maybe the natural ingredients in their beauty products are not sustainable. So this is why sourcing natural ingredients sustainably is key, and we go back to all the local sourcing that we touched on as well, and that you talked about as well. But it's also supporting the emergence of alternative ingredients from natural origins that are transformed in the lab to make them more sustainable. And this really supports the growth in the Polish beauty industry of the usage of biotech ingredients. We've seen that it also has grown in recent years, and that the proportion of product launches featuring biotech ingredients is now matching global innovation, so the proportion in global launches. So again, an acceleration, and this trend really set nicely in the Polish beauty industry. And finally, third big trend for us would be really the fact that brands really bring value to beauty products and to everyday beauty products by targeting specifically the needs of certain cohorts. So in a way, it's personalizing the offer by micro-targeting, so mass personalization through micro-targeting. So products feel more personalized, it feels that it's just made for you. And it comes from the fact that the beauty offer is overwhelming. We have the choice, we have so much choice that sometimes we need a little bit more guidance, and really micro-targeting, making it more personal, really speaks to Polish consumers who are expecting brands to talk to them more personally. And this is why, for example, we've seen many lines of male grooming being developed by brands, for example, Pat and Rub and their men's line. So yeah, I would say these three trends are really setting nicely in the Polish beauty industry.
Much. Margot, thank you very much. I will repeat once again, the line dropped for a moment. You highlighted few main trends, and I would like to anchor to them the words like sustainability, eco, natural, or local, naturally local sourced materials.
Yeah.
These are important globally and also locally here in Poland. And that's why I would like to give the floor now to Agnieszka Kozoń, because we believe that Only Bio, the company that Agnieszka is heading, touched upon this trend very well, and it happened just a year ago. It happened 3-4 years ago. Agnieszka, am I right?
Yes, that's
how
true.
this idea, how this history actually started? Because you are now rocketing, and the success is sky high. But please tell us where the idea came from.
The success came not from the last few months. We started. I'm in the company from the very beginning, and from the first day we have the very consistent. We were very consistent about our priorities, and it remains the same until now. It's not like we did it a year ago or months ago. So the first thing we are standing for is the nature, and it always was like that. So we are from the beginning producing cosmetics with at least 98% of natural ingredients. They are safe, biodegradable, and there is a lot of ingredients which are obtained from the local sources, natural ones, and we also always built the sustainable production. We used at the very beginning only glass bottles, then extended it to the materials from recycling and green PE from the sugarcane. So we are going to the different areas. We don't know what will be the main trends, but we try to be everywhere and see what will happen. And also our production is also aimed to be zero waste. The second thing which is building our unique identity is the technology. Only Bio is 29 scientists, including 13 PhDs and professors. Yeah, so it's the super strong team, and we are using really really innovative and highly efficient ingredients patented by us. And I think this combination of the nature and this high technology is the main main points and main reasons for the success. But the third thing, which are absolutely standing for, and it is also from the very beginning, is safety. Our products are are certified by very well-known certifying bodies in Europe. So we have the Cosmos Natural certificate, vegan, and also the asthma allergy Denmark certificate. So I think there are three things which combined together make our products all successful. Yeah. And customer trust us. They know that there is the good choice. They can use it safely. They are efficient. They are from nature, and it's I think it's in our DNA. Yeah, because the team is very different. Yeah, there are scientists, there are very energetic, cosmetic lovers team in marketing. Yeah, there is also the operation, which is like me, basing the background from food, from FMCG. So we are reacting very fast. We are doing many things, step ahead. And trying to be ready for everything our marketing will try to do. Yeah, so it's amazing. It's difficult, but giving us a lot of satisfaction because we are using our products and our
Agnieszka,
families.
just one more comment, because I remember and I was observing you from the very beginning when the company has started, and you remember we were sitting in your office 2-3 years ago. We were looking at the glass jars. And I remember you were commenting that, okay, they are cool, they are ecological, and they are beautiful because they are black, and they give also the quality to the formula inside. But you were also saying that, look, they are heavy. We need to find something which is lighter for the carbon footprint, for the entire life of the product. And now Michał was talking about this, showing you as a kind of flag example, a standard example, a golden standard for all of us, Refill and Rossmann cooperation.
Refill
Just a few
station.
comments on that, please.
Yeah, this
share
is
with us.
the very good cooperation with Rossmann, and we hope we observed this trend even on the Cosmoprof 2-3 years ago. I was discussing it with some clients who are interested, and we observed that the trend is growing, that clients need it. So we did this project to do it as first, and we believe that it will be success. I hope that others will come the same way. Of course, it's like being the first is not always, the cheapest and the easiest, but we like.
It's always easier to follow than to be the leader.
But we don't like only response to our clients' needs, but we want to be a step ahead. Yeah, so propose something what they will love, and this is our aim, and we live with these ideas. Yeah, to deliver to clients something they will appreciate and then they will like to use.
So it's rather story doing than storytelling in your philosophy.
Case.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Another adjective and another something that we discussed 2 days ago, and it was brought up by Michał during his presentation, Polish cosmetic shelf. And I'm looking at Litka, because when we were preparing for this debate a few weeks ago, and I will tell you off the record that Litka now lives in Switzerland after years of living in Warsaw. So she has fresh observations on how the Polish cosmetic shelf looks like in comparison to other markets. Polish cosmetic phenomenon, Polish cosmetic shelf. Please give us a few comments.
Yes, indeed. First of all, thank you for invitation to this debate. It's my big pleasure to be here with you all. And as you've mentioned, that's true. I moved to Switzerland a few months ago, and Geneva is now my second home. It's absolutely amazing place to live, and Switzerland is a beautiful country. However, Warsaw is and it will always remain my beloved city. It's very energetic, very vivid, very vibrant. Exactly the same you can say about cosmetic business in Poland. According to some sources, we've got more than 1,000 cosmetic companies here. So it's absolutely amazing, or like others say, it's a madness. Well, in fact, of course, we can assume that only a part of them, maybe 350, 400 of them are significant businesses, but it's still a huge number. And in fact, we have it's a unique mixture of global concerns, big domestic companies, and the growing number of startups here. And it has obviously a big impact on how the cosmetic market looks like in Poland. And what I can say, comparing to my new Swiss, yes, it's that we have a really wide range of the cosmetic products here, and we are able to to buy them in drugstores, in chemistry, in supermarkets, discounters, and any other retail channels. Yeah. Well, it's in Switzerland. It's not a problem to buy very luxury cosmetics that cost a lot, while mass market's offer is rather limited to the global brands and some very well-known organic and dermocosmetics brands. And of course, there is some number of local producers, but it's not so numerous as we've got here. And so the Polish cosmetic shelf seems to be much more diverse and compelling. Of course, there are pros and cons of each situation,
yes.
And we can't deny that it's very tight, very crowded here. And from the producer perspective, it's probably not easy to present all the portfolio you've got and give some reflect on the philosophy DNA of the brand. It's much more difficult. So if you ask what is a very main feature of our market, it's definitely competitiveness. And as we are all aware, a strong competition leads to greater creativity. It leads to a huge number of novelties on the market, new launches. And it also makes relationships between producer and consumer much closer. And so, in my opinion, if the company can survive in such a competitive market like Poland, it has obviously a strong foundation to do well abroad. And I think that success stories of so many Polish companies just prove it. And I think we're going to discuss it a little bit later. But anyway, I need to something going back to Switzerland, that we already have some Polish brands on the Swiss market, and it always makes me happy and very proud to see them in some fancy boutiques, in a nail studio, because there is a huge popularity of Polish hybrid lux,
yes.
And or to see them in some department stores, which are very fancy. And there is always room for growth and improvement. And I think it's wonderful that you organized this debate, because we have so many export-oriented companies here that it's really need to support them in their goals and aspirations. So that's
Litka, thank you very much for this uplifting comment. But you mentioned also that the Polish cosmetic shelf is so densely populated that for very many of us, the producers, the only way out of this gridlock and this very fierce competitiveness is to go and fight for export. So
That's
this
right.
is in a way natural way to win, or to balance your maybe losses because you have such a dense domestic market,
right.
and go to fight for exporting markets. If we talk about global and local, if we talk about fighting for local market and going to export, Michał, you were presenting excellent data, and congratulations on your presentation, because as we know, and we can tell you openly, the viewership of our webinars, 1,500, 1,700 people looking at this data. So this is really worth the effort to showing the advantages that Polish cosmetic sector has. But going back to your presentation, please comment a little bit, taking on your data presented on Tuesday. Please give us a little bit, yet again, information about this competitiveness, global versus local, export.
Thank you. I think I will reiterate a little bit on what Litka said, because if I had to use two words about Polish cosmetic sector and the industry, I would say variety and dynamic, right? So we saw that over the years, the number and availability of those cosmetic products in Poland grew dramatically. So if we take just the face care category as an example, we could see that the number of SKUs, so a single product that we track in our databases, over 3 years grew by 30%. So that means that shelf expanded by 1/3, right? So that means that there are plenty of new products, and most of them, these are products that follow new trends or even creating them. So that means also that for us consumers, there is more quality and there are more just interesting products. And if we talk about dynamic, well, as I presented on Tuesday, let's compare to those 5 crown markets. So we're talking about France, Italy, Spain, UK, and Germany. We still very sound growth of Polish market, around 5%. So even taking into account this COVID situation, that's really great result.
Thank you. Litka, would you like to comment a little bit also about your, I would say, internal knowledge of other entities, which are, because as we
I
all
will
know,
try to. Yeah.
as we know, all in Poland, you created Love Cosmetic Awards competition.
Yeah.
Therefore, you are in a way responsible for also for selecting the companies which are presenting their brands to this award. Secondly, you wrote a book about women in Polish cosmetic industry and role models for so many other entities which are just starting their business. So, and majority of them are women. So based on that, can you give a little bit more about those who you see as standing out?
Okay, so starting from Love Cosmetics Awards, because it's a really special contest organized under the umbrella of my portal Virtualnokosmetyki.pl. So I am proud that members of our jury are real experts in their fields, including marketing professor, safety assessor, dermatologist, journalist, social media analyst, and influencers. And we evaluate the nominated products according to 3 main factors, like brand, emotions, quality. And why it is so important? Because it's exactly the same way that consumers perceive the cosmetics and make their choices their choices. So you have to speak directly to consumer emotions and meet their expectation in terms of quality. And on the Polish market, there is absolutely no future for simply poor or average products. And in fact, it's not easy task to choose between the nominated products. Last year, we've got more than 1,600, and we are awarded only about 40, and among them, Closhi was awarded the main award.
That's
and
true.
So it's not easy task because their overall quality is simply very high. So based on these experiences, let me speak of Polish beauty distinguishing factors. So a lot has been already said, but I will try somehow to summarize it. So certainly it's a very good price-quality ratio, and here I would like highlight the quality element. And it's a great balance between innovative solutions and naturalness of the product, and combining both of these elements, which is really important, as it was mentioned in Mintel presentations. So we've got a great design of packagings and implemented pro-ecological solutions there.
Sustainability
Yeah,
again.
that's right.
Yeah.
I would like to stress out a great ability to build compelling brands that appeal consumers' needs and emotion, and a great sense of current and future trends, not only following them, but creating and really feel what's going on. And that's the reason why so many niche brands and startups have succeeded recently in the past few years. And as for a key trends, which were mentioned yesterday, I think that we also have some superpowers, let's say. Well, the mentioned category of natural cosmetics is simply booming all over the world, and I think that Polish beauty corresponds with this approach very well. And localness is also our strength, because let's have a closer look for some traditional ingredients like local herbs, plants, mineral elements. I'm pretty sure that birch, black mud, amber, or flat oak, it could be very exotic and at the same time very tempting for consumers in distant markets. On the other hand, our producers are very flexible in delivering very popular, worldwide popular ingredients, such like CBD oils, aloes, or bakuchiol recently.
Bakuchiol, very, very popular
Yes.
recently.
Yeah.
But as you said, ingredients and naturals of ingredients and their localness, it's something that
Yeah,
we could
very
very
promote.
important, and especially important nowadays when we talk about impact of COVID and pandemia. I'm looking at Marta at the moment because you said, Lydia, you said few important things. Quality, no place for being mediocre. And this is something that makes Polish cosmetic industry famous for. So quality, safety, local ingredients, sustainability being at the beginning or at the forehead, being the first to show certain directions. Marta, your company, Closhi, is based in Szczecin, a town close to my heart. I was born there.
Really?
Now, the owner of Closhi, also Daria Prochenka, born and bred in Szczecin. She very often highlights that ingredients which are in Closhi products, which, let's put it again, are not that cheap in terms of looking at it from the Polish perspective. They brag, or they are famous for locality. Very good formula, sustainability. Please tell us a little bit more about Closhi.
Yeah, it's huge tema, okay? So I will try to summarize it. I think that the development of Polish Closhi market is really huge, and it is very noticeable nowadays, especially when we talk about natural cosmetics. Closhi has been building its position for almost 7 years. From the very beginning, we looked at the slogan ecological very broadly. That's why our products are safety, for sure, and we care also about the environment. That's why our recipes are closed in good bottles, perfect bottles, I think, because it's PCR, post-consumer recycled plastic bottles and glass bottles, which are much more environmentally friendly. Of course, we have perfect recipes, but the environment is also really important. Of course, the ingredients that we have inside have excellent work. Yeah. For example, bakuchiol. Yeah, it's a perfect ingredient, and we also have it. But we try to look horizontally. Yeah, we try to connect the nature and the technology. I think for our customers, it is the most important thing nowadays, and they just expect it from us. So I think only then they will believe us, and they will trust us, and they will trust in our products. So I think it is our duty to provide them the best quality of the product. It is the huge range, I think, the quality. This is the main point, and it's not always easy. That's the fact, but we try. At Closhi, the entire process is supervised by the group, by the team of professionals. And we also say that if we want it, we can do it, even if it must be a method of little steps, but we can do it.
Thank you very much. I will move on to Agnieszka Kozon yet again. Few things about or few buzzwords which we've heard here, talking to our audience. And please let's remember that our biggest audience are the buyers. Okay, we also talk to your competitors who are listening now, and they tuned in to Polish Beauty, listening to all of this, what you would have to say. But first and foremost, the buyers are listening to us. And I wanted to dwell a little bit more and ask Agnieszka to comment on it. We've said that it's difficult. We said that it's time-consuming. It takes education and science. Agnieszka pointed out very rightly and surely about the number of PhD scientists working behind Only Bio, about the vision, the courage, sustainability. We mentioned a lot of little words, but I wanted to go back yet again to the fact that on the map of Europe, we have to really try far harder than our competitors from Western Europe. It's very many said or very many written about us that because we have to try harder, we really make an effort, and this effort shows in expert results. And I will just say that within the 7 months of this year, taking into account the hardest COVID months, March and April, we had 6.2% export growth comparing 2019 to 2020. This is something to brag about, because we are probably one of 3 markets which are noting such a export growth, where the entire Polish economy is in exports is going down by 6%. Agnieszka, what does it take also to be this first to try hard? Any your personal also observations after having so many difficult experiences also to fight for the position on Only Bio?
I think
what are the challenges when you think of a Polish producer going to Germany, let's say, to very hermetic Western European markets? What do you feel is something that is stopping us or making it more difficult for us than for others?
In my opinion, is the key point is to build the trust. To ensure that there is the really high quality and there are no compromises. They can trust our quality, because the price is not everything, yeah, and especially in those demanding markets. That's why I listed the certifications which we have chosen as the most reliable, and we thought, okay, this should, if you have asthma allergy, Denmark certificate, it should convince, that we are able to do such demanding products. And this is, I think, the key point. The second thing is to be ready for the requests. Yeah. So we discussed before the debate the proportions in investment in R&D in pharmacy and in cosmetics. In our case, we are moving more to the pharmaceutical. Yes. Because it's easy to do everything what others do, yeah, but create something new which
Much
really
demanding.
works, and the price has to be not from the moon. It's very difficult, so it has to be a hard work to develop, to test, and to create some formulas which we can propose then. And I think there are two things which can support the export.
I will ask our officer looking at me right now. Do we still have 2 minutes 42 seconds to spare? We can dwell a little bit more. We can dwell a little bit more. Okay, then let's go ahead. You mentioned elements of the products that will stand out. You also mentioned something when we were making ourselves look beautiful in the makeup room. You said something to me, Blanka, I really have a most difficult time in my career. We would say it in Polish, jesteśmy ofiarą naszego sukcesu. We are our success victims. Yeah.
No,
and you said
we'll manage.
you said I sleep 3-4 hours a day. COVID and the COVID situation, and also, as we also presented, Michał and myself, the fact that flexibility of the industry is key, that you are small, and thanks to this, you are so like a little fish in a big pond, you can very quickly adjust to the changing situation, which is wonderful. And I know that you probably went to other sectors of, or you produce other cosmetic products, not only your key brands. And any comment on that, on how you adjust to COVID situation? What was the hardest? Because we know from the data that Michał presented that Polish entities in COVID months, they really won the battle, the competitive battle.
I think we were, not sitting and crying. We just were acting. Yeah, our team was, during the lockdown, after the, coming back to the office, they presented so wonderful projects. They have time to, go to the other areas. Yeah, the customers were not in stores, but more in the web. Yeah.
Yes.
So they dig the
digital.
More
Yes.
digital, and the life moved there. I think also in this area, and this is what we were, taking the ideas and catched the new trends, and the fruits we see now. Yeah, the whole new line of the washing. This, for example, this site and the team of hair lovers, and this is what we catched. Of course, we also started with the sanitizers in I don't know. It was like the war. Who will be the first? Everybody knows it, but we also tried to do it, and
part
we did.
of it, part of this sanitizers.
Yeah, so it was
fake.
like the current situation. Okay, we try to deliver something what is needed now, but also we work on the future projects. Yeah, so it's like
So simultaneously, Michał, would you like to comment as well on this Agnieszka said? Because as you remember, we had parts of our presentations were also devoted to the fact that, okay, flexibility, the COVID situation, very difficult moment when the industry had to step up to the different demands. From our own data, I will just quickly share this data yet again. From our own data, we knew very well that almost 35% of our Polish cosmetic market competitors moved to hydrogel and to sanitizers. Then about 11% of companies who normally would produce color cosmetics, makeup cosmetics, or face and body care products, they had to move also to disinfectants. And it shows in various sources of information, the registration portal and other elements. Would you like to comment on it from your own knowledge?
Yeah, of course, and we also do monitor these categories, so hand sanitizers and sanitizing products, and we saw skyrocketing values, triple times growth of such segments. So definitely part of companies started to be there and played it and were flexible enough to, in a short time, really be there. But also, in the same time, we saw that in April, when Rossmann did those promotions on core, let's say, categories, those Polish companies also stepped up and were ready to present their portfolio and be there, and consumers were there, and companies were waiting for them, right?
And they
with their
could profit on this situation. Yeah.
So the win-win
I
situation.
think that it's, if I can add something, that it's really visible that Polish companies turned the pandemic challenges into the business opportunities. And I think that every day Polish companies proving that agility is their strength. And thanks to this agility, they are able to win so many market battles here and abroad.
Poles are really famous for this entrepreneurial spirit and mindset, and they are well educated, they are hardworking and creative at the same time. So if you combine this all together, well, nothing can go wrong.
Great mixture.
Right?
Yeah.
I think this is a great summary of all this, what we wanted to talk today about. these adjectives which we would like to describe and we are describing the Polish cosmetic industry with are not empty words. There is a lot of hard work and courage and chutzpah behind to lead cosmetic businesses right now, because as we can see, it's a difficult and challenging situation to be with. But also, let's highlight yet again that our export figures and the growth in this difficult COVID pandemic times showing that we have the strength, we have the ability, and that export could be the motor for getting out of difficulties in our internal market. So we will try to make export a machinery, or actually a tool, an engine, to get us out of the difficult situation on local market. This is all from us. I would like to thank you yet again, all our participants in our debate. This was wonderful to have you with us. You were also exhibitors at WeCosmoProf. This is a new circumstances, new life. We are adjusting to it in a digital way. Digital and e-commerce, a new path to grow as well. Thank you very much. It was wonderful, a great pleasure to be with you all over the globe from Warsaw. Thanks to Bern, Polish Ministry of Development, thanks to Polish members of Polish Union of Cosmetic Industry, Poland, everywhere. Thank you very much. Good luck and success. Wishing you success. I know we can do it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the nice introduction. And I would like to give you the presentation on science right now. Science, which is very often difficult, but also which is quite crucial for the innovation. So the skin penetration of active substances. When we are using active substances in cosmetics, you have to be just aware that their activity is strictly dependent on this, how deep they can penetrate into the skin. And we have to also be aware that there are some substances, they just cannot penetrate the skin because of their chemical character, because of their size, and we just have to know it before composing of our products. We use in cosmetics huge amount of plant extracts. You saw yesterday's shows, many cosmetics going very directly into the trend of natural, organic, but putting these substances into the cosmetic, into the jar, we have to think all the time, does the substance penetrate to the skin or not? And this is absolutely crucial. So we just have to remember that the skin absorption of chemicals is the key factor in their cosmetic activity. If the substance doesn't penetrate, it means it cannot work in the skin. It can work on the surface, and this is also very important. But our field is just to see what's happening inside. This picture is probably well known to everybody, and you probably all know that the layer of the super layer on it's the stratum corneum layer. It's the dead layer. But this layer, it's kind of the barrier for substances that are trying to penetrate to the deeper layers of the skin. There are some standards, some guidelines for the testing of chemicals, like, for example, OECD guidelines for the skin absorption, and these methods are in vivo, so on the live organism. For these methods of testing how deeply the substance can penetrate, there are some disadvantages because results can differ from one another, And also, these are methods that are requiring sensitive analytical methods, because the amounts are very, very little. So you should have very sensitive method to detect. The good advantage is that you have original alive organisms, so you have enzymes and everything what is needed. There are also some methods that allows us to follow the substance in vitro. In vitro, so besides the organism. These are models. And when we look how the substance can penetrate into the skin, we have 3 terms in English. So penetration, we check how deeply the substance penetrates into the skin. Permeation, we check how does it go from one layer into another layer. And the resorption, it's very deeply, that's the uptake of the substance onto the vascular system. And this, of course, we would like to avoid because of safety assessment. So this diagram shows very nicely how we test it. So we have a chamber, we put the emulsion on the top, and we just detect the substance in the solvent in the chamber. Going to the factors that are influencing skin penetration. There are factors that are very specific for us, for humans, for people. Like, for example, the thickness of the skin, the age of the person. This is quite crucial. There is totally different skin permeation in people who are young, and totally different skin permeation within the same person when this person will be older, and the skin will be just thicker, less collagen, less elastin. So we just have to remember about it. The circular system activity, it's also crucial, and it's different in different persons. The corneocyte, so the cell's size, this is also very specific for each person. Metabolism, we know that each person has different. So this shows that it's really difficult to predict looking at the substance, and very often if we don't test, we just don't know how deeply it can penetrate. But there are also some limitations coming from the molecule. If the molecule is too big, sometimes we know that definitely it will not penetrate the skin. The shape is important. The lipophilicity, so how it will be dissolving in fats, in oils, its affinity to fats and oils, that's absolutely crucial factor, solubility, charge. So you see that there are factors coming from the human being, from the person, but also factors that are coming from the substance. The very interesting thing, if you take the substance and, for example, some flavonoid, and you want to see how it goes deeply into the skin, and you put it into the emulsion, in the oil in water emulsion, and then you change the emulsion into the water in oil emulsion, or you put it to gel or to multiple emulsion, the skin permeation will be different. It will be not the same. So that's forcing us for testing, because if you don't test in the laboratory, you are never sure if this substance is in this place that you want it to be. There are also some substances that can speed the penetration skin of our actives. They are important, but also we have to remember that other ingredients, for example, in the cream, in the emulsion, you have about 30 or even more substances, 30 ingredients. Each of them are influencing another. So you have to also consider all the mixture if you really want to know where your active substance is. Summarizing factors that are influencing the skin penetration, we have biological factors, so coming from the person. We have physical and chemical properties of ingredients, which are crucial. Sometimes when we look at the substance, like when we look at the protein, we know the protein, it's too big, it will not penetrate the skin. Yeah? There are presence also of other ingredients in the mixture, and the form of cosmetics is very, very important. These substances that you see here, most of these substances you can find in natural extracts. So for me, I'm a chemist, and when somebody is saying that this is natural, it doesn't contain chemicals, you have just chemicals from the chemical point of view here in this mixture. And all of them are influencing the speed of the penetration of actives which are in cosmetics. And when you look in the literature, you see that most of them are acting as promoters of the penetration. But sometimes, in some special situations, these substances that are promoting then inhibit. So again, we are going to the conclusion that we must test to be sure. And the final conclusion of this presentation is that the proper selection of ingredients in cosmetic products is a key factor for penetration of active substances. If we study the skin penetration, we are innovative. We are exactly knowing what's happening with our actives. We are just aware of it, yeah, and we can go forward. If we don't study, the point is that we can just suppose we have the data in the literature. We can read it, we have some knowledge, we have some conclusions, but we are never sure because these systems are so complex that just only tests gives the result. And then we can be sure about the activity of the product and I think we can promote the innovation. So this is the most important thing, and I think that the current science, cosmetic science, is putting huge effort on this field, on the skin penetration of active substances. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you for the presentation. And I would like to invite right now the perfect safety assessor, Mrs. Iwona Białas from the CosmetoSafe consulting company, who is a practitioner and who will show you what's the most important right now in the safety assessment. Thank you.
Morning to everybody, and welcome to our debate. The title was said before by Christopher. Thank you, Christoph. And the right promotion of cosmetic industry in difficult times. I would like to, first of all, to welcome my guests and introduce them. Mr. Grzegorz Sinacki, Chief Expert, Department Trade and International Cooperation, Ministry of Economic Development. Then there is Mrs. Blanka Chmurzyńska-Brown, Director General of the Polish Union of Cosmetic Industry.
Hello, good morning.
We have Mr. Ambassador Jerzy Droszcz, Director of Foreign Promotion Bureau at the Polish Chamber of Commerce. And we have our expert, Mrs. Anna Oborska, Director General, Polish Association of Cosmetic and Detergent Industry.
Good morning.
Welcome. And online, we have Director of Mrs. Agnieszka Sikierska-Otłowska, Products and Standards Department Director of the Polish Investment and Trade Agency. Good morning.
Hello,
Good morning, Agnieszka. Good morning.
You via internet because COVID interrupted me to join you directly. I'm in home isolation, but I'm here with you.
We are fully aware of these challenges, so that's why the title is in these challenging times, because we realize, you know, that you are also very important person for this debate, so we wanted to have you even in our quarantine. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so just to maybe recapture a little bit what we do. So Böhm Agency is an operator of branch promotional program of cosmetic industry on behalf of Ministry of Economic Development. And we prepared very special promotion for the whole cosmetic industry. Our activities are really full with inspirations, full with company movies, webinars, debates, and filled with lots of information given by companies' presentation. But also we have a very special website linked to the main website of WeCosmoProf as the only country. So we have created a digital catalog for cosmetic companies. So that will stay for us and for the advantage of all international buyers, also for the months to come. So that's not the end; it's just the beginning. So this was the first 5 days of WeCosmoProf, which we experiencing. But this is some value we created will stay with us for the long time, for the sake of these companies. And maybe the summary from the last 4 days, I gave a little bit, just before a minute. But first of all, I would like to highlight the dynamics of development of Polish beauty sector. You mentioned, Blanka, in one of your first speeches, I think I remember, that Poland's cosmetic market grew since 2005 till 2019 by 38%. So, and at the same time, Italian market or French market shrank. So that was then very informative report prepared from Nielsen, and it was about cosmetic, and that cosmetic industry in Poland is driven by a new technology, and it's also very dynamic, and Polish customers are aware of the value of products and aware of prices as well. That was then interesting presentations from Mintel about sustainability and good quality, plus awareness also of Polish awareness of our clients. That was also presentation given by Mrs. Anna Oborska about what companies should be aware of being on international EU market, not only compliance with all regulations. That was also a very important message. And we would like to maybe start from some questions, from general questions. And my first question would be to Mrs. Agnieszka Siekierska-Otłowska from agency, from Polish Trade and Investment Agency. Yes? Can we start? Yeah, you hear us well, yes? So, your agency is a very good supporter for years already, for the promotion of Poland and promotion and investments. So what support you can give to the foreign contractor who are interested, to invest and who are interested to trade with Polish companies?
Okay, so let's start for our mission. Polish Investment and Trade Agency mission is to increase the inflow of foreign direct investment to Poland and to support, of course, Polish companies in promotion of their products and Polish brands. And the important thing is that we operate both here in Poland, in Warsaw, with specialized relationship managers who take care of the company's project, and through our foreign trade offices abroad, which are located on all continents. So I can say this is very unique value in cooperation with foreign business, the international people network with their knowledge of local business culture, local requirements and local languages and local contacts, of course, which is very important. I think that we are the only one who can give this kind of support both for international and Polish partner companies. And how do we work? How we do make our offer? We offer support in choosing the optimal path of expansion abroad. And we have offer for advanced companies and for startups and small companies. For advanced companies, which are ready and have capacity, which is important in our opinion to export, we offer current access to comprehensive fresh information on the economic and legal environment locally. We also help in overcoming administrative procedures, finding and matching reliable partners and suppliers, which is very important. As a part of consulting services, we offer information and analysis packages, practical analysis, organization of B2B meetings, trade mission, of course, and participation in international fairs. And right now, mostly online, like we do today. For startups and small companies, we concentrate on gathering right information and education, and building knowledge and giving tips on how to start selling products in demanding markets. And when I look into cosmetic sector, our activity concentrate mostly on preparing list of potential business partners, verifying business partners, which is now in the COVID situation more and more important, how we can observe. Then animating and making contacts with business partners, and help in overcoming and following rules of entering local specific requirements markets with specific products. As we know, most businesses activities are run now online, and Polish Investment and Trade Agency doesn't sleep and also have to meet these expectations. So we are now currently working on a new program, Active Export e-program, that connects Polish and foreign entrepreneurs online. And the main goal of this program is to build a network of contacts and business relations on foreign markets due to the specific local requirements and business culture. The program is divided into three parts: a modern industry sector catalogs, including, of course, companies' presentation, virtual conferences, and aftercare services. The most important in this program is to match the specific requirements of the local market with the well-marketing prepared catalogs and virtual conferences organized by our foreign trade office. And when we talk about the online activities, also I can mention that we have been and still organizing a series on information and education webinars, including the cosmetic sector. And also we are planning export training for young companies. So far, in the period of COVID, we have prepared 8 webinars for cosmetic sector for Asian markets, Australia, Africa, Europe, including Spain and Portugal. And in this month, for example, we plan another 2 for Korea and Scandinavia.
So you are very active. I think we will start from the next question, because then we can then continue for the last, because we have time limitations. So I know that you will talk about this because it's very interesting topics. Which
I told you yesterday.
Absolutely. You have full right. So the next one, because I know that Polish Chamber of Commerce runs the trade delegations and runs the very good promotion on very important markets for years already, since the 1990, I think, 1990. So you have really big experience in trade missions, in a promotion of Polish companies. Right now, of course, it's a little bit different, but the trade delegations are also different. But are there any trends, what you notice, are there any favorite countries, favored by Polish companies? So that's they like the most?
Thank you very much. Of course, whole world is interesting for Polish companies and this fantastic sector. As it was already said, Poland is the 5th biggest producer of cosmetics in the European Union and the 6th in Europe. And also it is important to say that starting from 2004 till 2019, production of cosmetics in Poland is bigger 5 times. It means in 2004 it was only 3 billion Polish zlotys. In 2019 it's almost 15 billion zlotys. So it's something
Huge growth.
worth to say. The biggest markets are, of course, concerning the exportation of cosmetics, Polish cosmetics, are Germany, Russia, and Great Britain. Of course, it's Europe, but other countries are also very interesting for Polish companies. In Asia, for instance, I can enumerate Taiwan, China, Korea, of course, South Korea, maybe one day also North Korea.
So we are entering the new markets constantly,
of course.
And quite frequently.
Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, Kuwait, Emirates. In Europe, I would like also to add Hungary, Denmark, Georgia.
So we are everywhere.
Yeah.
That was said, that we are very, very dynamic. So that's really amazing. Amazing figures also. And thank you very much for the job you are doing. As a Polish Chamber of Commerce, because it's important to promote, to make the Polish companies present on this market. Blanka, I wanted to ask you, right now, because you presented, that was presented the report from done by Nielsen, but prepared partially by your union with many data from your companies given, and also then by Mintel. What would be the background? How do you rate, the Polish companies on the background of this presentation given by this both institution?
I think to start with, to go a little bit, to give a little bit of background what we do. The Polish Union of Cosmetic Industry is actually an engine, a driving engine in economic diplomacy for Polish cosmetic sector. So as from 2011, we were really very much engaged in making sure that Polish cosmetic producers have a national pavilion in Cosmoprof Bologna. We were present there year by year. We made sure that there is a hard work, and we also wanted to make sure that Poland is a partnering country for Cosmoprof Bologna in 2016, and so on and so forth. So obviously,
and it
today,
gives results.
It gives results, but obviously today the circumstances are different. We have to play as COVID allows us to.
So we do that.
We do that. And secondly, we have a mandate to actually be an expert and to give advice, expertise, information about how the Polish cosmetic export develops. Because even today at We Cosmoprof, out of all exhibitors are our members apart from 2 companies. So this also gives us knowledge and feedback from companies what's needed. And I think this is important, and it shows the cooperation between BERM, Ministry of Development, and us. It shows that the instruments we developed, for example, the digital catalog that we wanted so badly, and we knew that it will take a lot of work, especially on you guys, on BERM. But it was worth it because it's an instrument that will stay with us. But okay, this is just a little bit of background, but what I really wanted to talk about is the figures, and as you said, the information gathered by us, teamed up with Nielsen and Mintel, to make sure that we actually do this economic diplomacy for the industry. So to be able to give the data, to show, for example, very current information showing MAT data, July 2019 to July 20,
so very fresh data,
showing that Polish cosmetic market has developed by 3% in that time, taking into consideration that half of that time is under COVID.
The reports are that good as data is included in
and
that,
data, and also
must be
analyzing
updated.
the data and giving the feedback to the surrounding, to the buyers, to the all listeners of our Polish Beauty channel. But what's important is that if we do compare our Polish cosmetic market with the main competitors in Europe, at the same moment we were developing by 3%. I'm talking just about this 12 months, July to July. Spain, for example, market has shrunk by 3%. German market, just tiny little bit movement.
So we are again the green
yes,
island.
we are the fastest growing,
Yeah,
definitely.
that's perfect. That's very good
and
news.
this is due to very many elements. And of course, it was highlighted during our webinars what are these elements, but competitiveness, quality, and basically no mercy, dynamics, no mercy to eternal market that gives results as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. And the question to you, Grzegorz, because we are a very dynamic country. We are present thanks to diplomacy, which is done by agency, by Polish Chamber of Commerce, by Polish, by union, by many associations. That's gives the room for export. We are present already on 160 countries, and probably because only some of them they are European Union members, and many of them they are still outside of European Union. So your job, which you are doing, helps those companies because they have to happen, some barriers in trade. What ministry is doing to support, the countries to eliminate those unwanted barriers in a trade, so we can develop and our exports even more?
Thank you very much. So, first of all, I'm happy for the invitation, and I'm happy also that Ministry of Economic Development can participate in this evening, especially in the promotion activities for cosmetic industry. And as we see the response of participants taking part in this meeting, so thousands of participants, so it means that it is really huge achievement, and also shows us how this digital platform is working and how it is needed during this unusual time. So congratulations, of course, for
much on behalf of Bern.
Yes, of course. Okay, so just going to the question, but before answering your question, I've got also some statistics and, of course, our support for this information that were expressed before about expansion of Polish exports of cosmetics. So we've got also data for this year from January till July, and we've got information that exports during this pandemic time rose by 6%. So, and just comparing...
Actually, 6.2.
Oh, it's better now.
Where at the same time the entire Polish economy,
that's about fresh
exports
data.
were shrinking by 6%. So, if we balance these two,
it shows us, it shows us how this sector is dynamic, and of course is taking the opportunity of this unusual situation and expanding globally. So congratulations, of course, also from us. And just going to the question, first of all, I would like to say that we are taking care about the problems, especially referring to barriers to trade with countries outside the EU bilaterally. And it is some kind of technical meetings and also high-level meetings. However, as it is also the issue of my department, that we are covering also the obstacle to trade at the EU level. And the most important tool what we've got how to deal with this is the Market Access Advisory Committee in Brussels, and it represents member states, but what is especially crucial for business, also European business is taking part on an everyday basis. So of course Cosmetics Europe is present, and I would like to also say that we've got really good cooperation as Polish administration with the European Cosmetic also at this level, and we also deal with some really important issue. I will mention some barriers to trade later on, but what is value added, especially of the raising these problems also at the EU level, that we've got extra support also from the Commission, also from other member states, and also from European business. And all together, we've got much more, in much more efficient way, we can, we can influence other countries and to influence them to limit such obstacles to trade. And when we speak about barriers to trade, for example, I would like to also say that we've got excellent
We'll
cooperation
not
with the
cover all
Polish.
of them because of time, but just you know,
sorry.
maybe one or
Okay.
two. So that's
Yes. Okay.
I know
So
that
because we've got
can talk
excellent
about this.
cooperation with the Union of the Polish cosmetic industry, of course, and thanks to this cooperation, we are struggling a lot with the elimination of barriers to trade. For example, this is if we speak about markets, it's China. This is really
Russia,
problematic.
for example.
Russia, for example,
Track and
yes,
trace in Russia,
yes,
Turkey.
it was a really huge issue, and thanks to our cooperation with the Cosmetics Europe and with the Commission, Russia postponed the deadline for implementation of such stringent requirements later on for October this year. But it was planned to be introduced last year. So it means that business achieved
So it means
get
that
additional time for the
hand-in-hand
adaptation.
cooperation
Yes,
works,
and
and
it's
we
excellent.
try our
Yeah.
best.
Yeah,
We
thank
try
you.
our
Thank you
best.
so much for now. And I have a question also to Anna Oborska. Ania, what do you think? What is your opinion about what distinguishes Polish companies on an international market? What is your opinion, and what would be your, let's say, advice, for example, for international potential buyers or those who would like to trade with Polish companies in cosmetic industry?
First of all, I would like to thank you to Worm to inviting us, to inviting the association to this debate. And answering to the question, what distinguish Polish companies, I think it was said many times during these fairs that this is the very high quality, which is, I think, recognized by partners outside in the Europe, but also in the world. And this is also sustainability and safety. I think that also important is price-quality ratio, which is quite good for Polish products, and this is also recognized. When you ask about the advices for the Polish companies, so first I would advise go global. Go global because, and don't afraid. Because
as we can see, they are not afraid.
They are not afraid. They are global.
Being in
Yeah.
160 countries.
Yeah, so go even more global, yeah? Because there is still space to expand, and as far as we see, the Polish
These guys
industry...
eliminate barriers.
Yeah. The Polish industry is still expanding in the world, even under the COVID times, and even if the industry generally has some problems because of this pandemic. Moreover, go online. This is also important because this distribution channel will grow in the future, and that's the future. I think we can observe by numbers that this kind of selling or sale is growing and growing and expanding. So that's of course I think the way to
the main message. Thank you, Ania. We are moving to because we are in pandemic times. So that's maybe the question to ministry once again. What is the picture of Polish exports in cosmetic to non-EU countries, for example? And what is the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on such exports of these Polish companies?
Okay, just to reiterate.
So I will let you continue, see?
Yes, okay, thanks a lot. But as it was said previously, so I don't want to repeat the statistical data, that when we compare data, for example, 2010 and 2019 even, so export doubled. And it means from 1.9 million to almost $4 billion euros.
That's
sorry.
really amazing growth.
Yes, and even every second cosmetic is exported from Poland, abroad. So it is a huge achievement, of course, and it shows us the dynamic of this sector. But if we speak about this pandemic situation, as I show the figures with Blanca as well, that it is dealing really well, and it means that it is taking this opportunity and reacted. The cosmetic reacted very quickly.
Even in these difficult times.
During these difficult times. So But we've got also one extra example with Kazakhstan, because when we show the data, so it was quite shocking for us, but of course positively, because export during this pandemic time, during this year, for the 7 months, rose 10 times. It means from 90 million to 190 million euro.
Love our beauty products.
Yeah.
Blanka, how do you rate? For example, you know that the Polish companies are, they manage to survive, not survive, but to operate, because it's not about survival.
Żaneta, feeding a little bit more to this, what Grzegorz has just said, that obviously our the biggest, the region that takes the most of our production is Europe. Yeah, it's almost 70% of cosmetic production for exports.
Which
Europe
is natural,
that's a
of course,
natural direction. But what's important, I think, to note, and we talked about this with Grzegorz recently, is that because of COVID and certain markets which were providing us with, for example, raw materials, ingredients, packaging materials, they were one by one during March, April and May, they were closing down. And what suddenly we realized locally here in Poland is that we very quickly have to search for local. We have to find ingredients and raw materials and packaging, plastic packaging, mostly till now used by the industry here locally. So suddenly you value all your local sourcing or your subcontracting, all the delivery, chain distribution,
so double
has
impact
to be,
and positive impact also on the other companies,
especially that you have to learn very quickly, and unless you do not act and react flexibly and find substitutions to, for example, Chinese distribution of certain elements, or a little tiny pump that you are using in your packaging
perfumes
of cosmetics, whatever. If you cannot very quickly react to these changes and find someone, a supplier, a producer, who will do it for you locally.
But we agreed already that flexibility is the second name and of Polish cosmetic companies. You had also to change a lot, Mr. Ambassador, because Polish Chamber of Commerce was doing, the trade delegation, conducting the trade delegation in reality, many conferences, many meetings, face-to-face meetings. And what was your reaction? How you had to change due to pandemic? Because still to do the right job for the promotion.
Thank you, Janeta. As always in the world, activities online. It's classical situation. So we are organizing business mission online, B2B meetings online. Conferences, trainings, some webinars, and it is that gives us very good results. Last very interesting e-forum was organized with our Turkish partners, and now it will be with South Africa and with Malaysia. And it works very good. Of course, the technical questions are from time to time, but WebEx or Zoom or other platforms are really good. We are publishing some interesting new newspapers, newsletters, and also it is very important, not only in Polish, also in English. We are using a special.
I am receiving them, so I know what's going on.
So we are also using the channel of Commercial Counselors Club created in Polish Chamber of Commerce. These are the commercial counselors of foreign countries here in Poland, and it gives also very good impact for foreign companies which are asking us, thanks to the very important actions organized by the embassies. And last but not least, a very important action invented by Polish Chamber of Commerce is action named "I will not let you close up." It's especially important for cosmetic sectors also. It is the action This action is based on a system of advance payments for services and products purchased in the future. So,
and it is very good message.
Very important. Very important.
Thank you so much. And a question for the Polish Trade and Investment Agency, for Agnieszka. Can you summarize the situation of Polish cosmetic producers right now in terms of exports during this last month, during pandemic times?
No sound.
Mikrofon wyłączony. Wyłączony mikrofon.
Your microphone is off.
Your mic is out.
Can you hear us? Your microphone
Yeah,
is off?
of course.
Oh, now it's on.
It's okay. Okay, sorry for that. So I can only confirm what was said before in terms of cosmetic industry, that it's going very well. And only I can also confirm what Blanca said, how the cosmetic industry developed in this pandemic situation, how they changed their production lines, how they find other suppliers locally in Poland. So this is very important. And in our opinion, still, the cosmetic industry is the most important we support. And I think it's worth to mention also that also it's the most diverse sectors of the economy. Different cultural norms and changing worldwide cosmetic trends require from producers to adapt their offer simply to local conditions. That's why they can do it very well. It's the specific of cosmetic industry. Maybe a few words also what was said about this potential destination, how we assess this.
We have 1 minute.
For 1 minute, okay. So I can say 3 words, 3 regions: Asia, Europe, Africa. This is our potential direction for cosmetic expansion. That we assess that they go very well. And maybe a few words about summarizing the results in these difficult times, our Polish cosmetics companies. We can count 20 export contracts which we support to finalize in Denmark, Hungary, also distance market as China, Taiwan, Saudi Arabia. And also now we are currently support business talks with participation of foreign trade offices. So we can see that we will have a lot of successes in the coming months.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Blanca, I would like to turn the question to you, because right now we are ending, coming to the end of We Cosmoprof, of our part, of course, because We Cosmoprof still lasts, another days.
Yeah.
Yes, but the question: how do you, what do you think about this formula?
How do I assess it?
Yes. Does it
Janeta,
work?
you remember that we started thinking and talking about this straight away in March. Yeah,
I remember.
When 13th of March we got the lockdown, we started thinking what to do and how to behave. We had so many meetings with our colleagues in Cosmoprof, Pierre, talking to them and having so many discussions
the right
to
strategy.
agree the right strategy. And of course, I have to highlight once again that this is for us a totally new situation and we are learning. The government is learning, the industry is learning, BERM is learning, we are trying. We obviously decided, and that's my assessment so far, but obviously we will ask the company exhibitors what's the value of the business, what's the reverse, what's the turn back to them, how do they value this. But I have to openly say, stressing this, that we put a lot of effort. We weren't certain to start with it if the formula of studios and having companies presenting and having the shows and webinars will actually be interesting enough. But let's just call the numbers. On the very first day when we opened the Cosmoprof Bologna, We Cosmoprof Bologna, on Monday, 1,700 viewers who were staying with us the entire year,
Yes.
giving us likes, sending us comments, and the mails from all over the globe asking for contacts to various countries where catalog was really useful to us.
That's fantastic, and this the number of viewers were growing. So it was up to even growing up to 22,000. So that was the peak times. So that was really amazing result. And do you think, Ania, that how do you like the presentation of Polish companies presented here?
I would like just to say that, as Blanca before said, this is new. This is new formula. This is something totally new, and I'm impressed first by the organization and by the effectiveness of this event. And also I would like to thank here the Ministry of Development for the support of such a forum for companies, because I think it's good direction. And the presentations, they were very interesting, and I think they were showing really
the most important information.
The informations, and also the how Polish industry is innovative and how sustainable it is. So
full of innovation and full of new technology. Thank you. And do you think, Jerzy, that Polish companies are well prepared to do the promotion, and how do you support? What would be your message? The final message for for them.
Thank you. Of course. I think that Polish companies are good prepared because there are many successes in the world. It could be better, of course, and I think all Polish cosmetics companies are doing the best. What can I say? Good research, good strategy. It is the base for to be effective, and we are inviting all companies.
You help them with good research, so
we are inviting them to our experts in our chamber, together with Ania, together with Blanca, together with the ministry. Thank you very much, and together with Bern. I would like to thank you for inviting us to this. Africa is. Last word. Africa is very important now direction. And we are preparing for this year and next year some important actions.
Difficult market for Polish companies, but very,
rewarding at the same time. Difficult to get there.
Very difficult, but very interesting.
Yeah, and so what would be the message from the ministry?
So my message is quite simple. Please do not afraid to contact Ministry of Economic Development if you need assistance on other markets, because we are really helpful, and we've got good examples of, for example, cooperation with cosmetics industry, that we can manage problems on the market, and also eliminating barriers to trade is our special goal. So cooperation with us is really effective, and of course I can add also some information about what's going on at the EU level. So now we are approaching the changing of the trade policy, EU trade policy, and there is a review, and one of the key aspects is how to react on this that kind of pandemic as COVID-19, and how to be resilient in the future, and how to find the right answer for business to be more effectively operating on the market.
The foreign companies, for example, the buyers can also turn to you, for example, with the questions, how to trade in a right way, how to trade with Polish cosmetic companies, not just cosmetic, but we are talking about cosmetic right now. And what would be the message from Polish Agency of Trade and Investment and Trade?
The message is simple. Please contact us. Use our foreign trade offices to make contacts with Polish companies, and also for Polish companies, use contact in our headquarters, in our relationship manager who is responsible for cosmetic sector, to start cooperate or to extend the
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. And Blanca, the last
sentence, a message to our buyers globally. Poland has facilities to produce really high quality products. So be there, be in contact. We are in pandemic situation, but because we have all ingredients and also packaging elements locally, we have creativity, people, knowledge,
And
in
skills.
skills and infrastructure. So the 5th place in the European Union doesn't come from nowhere. It's supported by a lot of flavor and elements which are needed for good quality products. If it's a branded product or it's sub-construction, whatever, we are ready here in Poland to support you in developing your own businesses wherever you are, China, Hong Kong, or in other areas globally.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for joining me for today's debate. And my main message would be that Poland is ready for the world. It's ready really to come to the new market, to discover new markets. And Polish companies are innovative, are brave, are full of they are matching the global trends, and they are not afraid to let's say, to trade with unknown markets as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.